Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with River Brown and Velez, and this is now episode 174. In this episode, we are going to debate which young player has shown the most star potential in the playoffs. Willie Green, Celtics taking a 2-0 lead on the Nets, Jazz Game 2 collapse, and more. A quick YouTube member and Patreon shout out to Danko, Corrupt, Matthew Jimenez, Caleb, Travis, Drews the Goat, Holmes, Nairi, your boy Nick, Pimp Chimpin, Jake the Snake, Corrupt, G Boog, Kobe, Dylan, Afosa, Mason, Rico the One, Gentile Drew, Cade MVP, Mark, SP Vorzi Shot, Jordan Watt, Evan, Dylan, Joel is the Goat, Mayo, Andre, Matthew, Peter, Daniel, Ben, William, Ruthless Rootster, Sensei Stevie, Joel B, SA Crimes, Kevin S, Eagle Dollar, Tizzy, Corey, Get Funkoed, Dylan, Playboy Orlando, Big Chuck, Michael, Greg, Cole, Liam, T Grove 17, Tua Sucks on Ka, Epic Lankiness, Aaron, It's Black Ace, Anthony, BJ, PJs, Langston, Jazzy Juice, Johannes, Ruben, Dave, Muffins, John, Sean Triplet, Burner Hoops, Court Cousins, P. Dot, George, Hikari, Mateen, and Jay Aqua.
Good old Jay Aqua. Let's do it, y'all.
Yeah, we didn't even introduce the biggest guest on the show right now.
Bring it up.
We have Lo, legend of winning, on the show to talk some playoff basketball, man. It's an honor to have you on the Pick a Side podcast.
Thank you y'all for having me, man. I'm ready to talk about hoops, man.
And before we started the podcast, you were Riv asked you a question of who your favorite one on the show is.
Put him on the spot. You guys are too much.
Yeah, and in a sense, you were kind of answering the question of who has the hottest takes on the show, and you singled out me. I'm kind of honored by that.
Oh man, jeez, I don't know if that's a good thing or not. It's just that you have the most memorable takes out of everyone. Either you or Riv, y'all have the most memorable takes, man. Y'all, it's pretty crazy.
Well, let's try to make some memorable moments on the show. I actually, first round series have just gotten started.
You know what's crazy before we start? What? It's wild of you that you say I don't make takes, and then he says I have the most wildest takes, which means that
he didn't say that though.
He did.
No,
he just said that.
No,
he literally just said that.
He said you too
have the most memorable takes,
but he singled out me first.
Don't do that. Don't try to make this a you thing.
Second.
I mean, second is still dope because he makes more takes to me, allegedly, quote unquote.
Listen, some
his takes are safe though. His takes are safe. He got safe takes.
Oh, you ain't hear some of them.
Okay.
But this is gonna be a great show. Man. You know, we're in the middle of the first round, right?
Love it.
And last year, I made the mistake of overreacting to series, not just the first round, just series in general, while being in the middle of it. So this show, I'm gonna try to walk on rocks on this one and not overreact because we have the Nets down 0-2. We're definitely going to talk about that later on in the show.
For sure.
But to start off the show, there have been a lot of young players that have been blossoming on the scene. And I want to ask you guys, which one of these do you think has the most star potential and has shown you the most in the playoffs? Riv, you were debating with Drew before the show on who you guys were going to pick. So I'm going to give you the floor first to pick your players.
Well, I'm going to let him take the other guy because clearly he couldn't find anybody else, and I feel
can
like
find someone else. Listen, if you want, you could say these two.
No, it's okay. And I feel like for Anthony Edwards, it's hard to really say him because we kind of felt like he was already going to be a star in a sense. So for me, it's Jordan Poole. Obviously, I think with him being that, like with Steph Curry going out and towards the end of the year, him subbing in for that role, he was amazing. And then coming into the playoffs, Steph Curry decides, I want to come off the bench. And Poole starts, and it's like they haven't missed a beat. He's been amazing. He has the ego. He has the confidence of being a star. He has all the intangibles of being a star, not to mention the insane shooting he has, the ability to get to the basket, the moves, the combination of skill he has. So for me, it's been Jordan Poole because of the performance he's been doing, and on top of that, the type of attention. Golden State is one of those teams that's supposed to come out the West. They've been hurt all year, and people are kind of sleeping on them now towards the end of the year because they had a kind of a slip. And Poole is supposed to be the guy that's next up with Wiseman and Kuminga that's supposed to take over the franchise when the big three is gone.
You throwing Moody in there or not yet?
Yeah, I'll throw Moody in there, but I'm talking about like stars.
You
know what I'm saying?
Kuminga is a star too?
Kuminga's going to be a star, bro.
He might be.
Yeah,
I've been seeing on Twitter that Jordan Poole has been getting compared to Steph as a ceiling.
I think that's like an insane ceiling. Like that ceiling is like
ceiling is crazy.
Top 3 on earth when at his best. I wouldn't say that, but he can definitely be an all-star. That, oh my God, not on the Poole thing. That whole Gary Trent Jr. better than Jordan Poole thing. Yeah, that's officially in the water.
Gary Trent had a good game last night.
He had like 9 points a game before that.
Correct.
It's stinky.
I mean, listen, Poole has put himself in a different category right now, and
it's a different beast.
It's make or break when it comes playoff time, and that's why I got to give credit where credit is due.
So what's your comp for Jordan Poole?
I told you it was Monte Ellis.
I don't feel like that's a good comp, personally.
Listen, man, you said that.
I was hoping you were going to come up with a new one.
I didn't, because I didn't think.
Did you hear him? It's a horrible comp.
Yeah, that's a horrible comp.
I couldn't think of one on the fly. Like
you kind of just like grouped in 2 Warriors players.
I did.
You were like, yeah, this is him.
So I was thinking like a scoring guard. So I was saying like Jordan Poole, combination of skill. But if you want me to think of a comp,
it's hard in this NBA to find a comp for him, especially for his ceiling, where right now he's going absolutely crazy in the playoffs, and a lot of his game is mirrored after Steph. So that's the reason why people are immediately jumping to conclusions. So I understand the difficulty of trying to come up with a comp for him, especially because his game's so modern.
I don't even see Steph, honestly.
Just his willingness to shoot the ball no matter what.
I think he has Clay-like confidence.
Like
he's more like Clay in the sense. If I don't have a comp right now. I'm sorry, guys. All-star though, definitely.
All-star? That's pretty fair. All right, so to give Riv his shine also, this is why he was giving me such slack before, because I'm going with Tyrese Maxey. Now, Maxey is interesting because when we first started previewing the series, I was skeptical about his game just because there were some moments where Maxey showed that he could be this player that he's been so far in the playoffs, but then there's moments where he kind of lets the other guys on his team get the ball before him and really is a little bit too passive for my liking. But he came out the gates game 1, put an exclamation point, 38 points, was phenomenal. Next game, drops 23 points. And then game 3 in Toronto, had a shaky 4 quarters really, but James Harden fouls out and overtime comes around and you start to see him be a little bit more aggressive, start taking the ball to the rack. And this is mostly impressive to me because he's doing this against really good guard play defensively. Fred VanVleet, solid defensively. Gary Trent Jr., solid defensively. And to put on the performance that he's been putting forward, you got to give credit where credit is due. No doubt about it.
Maxey has been better than Fred VanVleet. I'll go last, Lo. You can give your player.
I actually, my man Rev got it. I got a Jordan Poole, man. Not only because it's in the playoffs, coming off of basically back-to-back 30-point games. And sure, you can definitely argue that the defense is a little shaky out in Denver. But this has been going on leading up to where we are right now in the playoffs, like he said earlier. Even when Curry was out, if you look at the 20 games leading up into the playoffs in the regular season, Poole was averaging 25-plus on great shooting efficiency. And really what's gotten him looking the way he looks right now is that he's become much more comfortable in the offense. So then when it was time for the playoffs to start, he flowed extremely well in that starting role. And I also applaud Curry for taking the bench while he continued to get healthy. But
for sure,
yeah, Jordan Poole is like astronomically great. Like what he's playing right now is unbelievable. I don't know about a Steph Curry ceiling. I would have to see it longer than just like a 30-game sample size. But definitely a lot of star potential, and definitely can usher in a new era of basketball with the Warriors.
So, do you have a comp?
Yeah. Do you?
Not really, just because the way that they utilize him, I don't even think that's like the way that you would probably play him. He would probably be more comfortable on the ball. He looks a little more comfortable on ball.
For sure.
And he's a lot more willing and daring. Monte Ellis is just a bad comp because he just wasn't a competent three-point shooter. I mean, if I had to say somebody, maybe Gilbert Arenas in a more structured environment. If Gilbert was in a more structured environment in terms of the offensive scheme being thrown around him being able to move off ball, him able to catch, shoot, more than just be a handler and distributor. But that Warriors offense is so unique that it's really hard to find.
I like Arenas if he passed the ball. I did exactly. I would like Arenas, but he did not pass the ball.
When you're playing Golden State, you have to be unselfish.
Yeah. Exactly.
Does he give you a little bit of a Brandon Roy vibe?
I don't know, because Brandon Roy was a little slower, but I can see why you say it. I don't know if I would give him Brandon Roy yet, though.
It's just the amount of threes that he's attempting is like
PTSD, baby.
Like an outwards risk.
That's hard.
Yeah, I know.
That's hard.
Yeah.
You know, when I was coming up with my answer for this topic, it was a bit tricky because I was like, am I going to go with the guy I've been most impressed with or the one that has the highest ceiling? But then I thought about it and I said, well, the guy I'm going to pick has both. I've been impressed with him and he has the highest ceiling. It's Anthony Edwards. And I want to shout out Ja because I think
for sure
having a stinker game 1, then posting that Michael Jordan video and then coming out game 2 and Memphis making a statement like that was big time.
It's one of the cooler things an athlete has done.
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
But Anthony Edwards, granted it's just been 2 games, 28 points per game, shooting 49% from the field, 38% from the 3. Third youngest player with 35-plus points in a playoff game. Did it in his first game, dropped 36. He's 230 pounds, 6'5", 6'6", probably closer to 6'6". And the wiggle he has, his handle, the smoothness of his game, I'm just impressed by him, and I love his confidence. He has this combination of confidence, swagger, but also humble. He goes on NBA Today and says, I'm the best defender in the NBA. His goal next year is to win DPOY. He said before on interviews, he wants to be the best 2-guard to ever play the game. And in that same breath, after game 1, when Minnesota shocked Memphis, he goes out and says Jaden McDaniels was the best player on the team in game 1. Like, the humbleness he has, but also the confidence he has is what I've been most impressed with. You guys know, Minnesota, I'm not worried. Minnesota is going to win this series.
Know.
I'm not worried. It's going to be Wolves.
I would be worried.
It's going to be Wolves.
I would be worried.
Wow.
Wolves in 7?
Wolves in 7.
I'll tell you what, man. I'd feel more confident saying Grizzlies in 5.
Ooh,
That's
I
crazy.
think that one's hot too.
I feel that.
It'll go
confident.
6 or
Anthony
7.
Edwards, you heard what he said. He said, we not worried. We going back to the crib. And he puts the Minnesota fans up there with the best of them.
They're a pretty good fan.
It's cool that he said that, but I think Ja woke up.
Correct.
And I think now that Ja's
Correct.
woke up, it might be over. But we'll see. I still got
was a
Grizzlies.
D'Lo hasn't gotten
statement
going
game.
yet,
D'Lo hasn't got it going yet because he's been stinky.
Correct. He's been butt.
Been stinky.
but he averaged 30 against them.
What
Hasn't shown.
I just want.
I think it's gonna. I think he's due for. A
He
big time
averaged
performance.
30, yes, but that was the regular season.
What is he averaging? 2 field goals?
He averages like 8
Make
points.
2
He's
field goals?
stinky.
Yeah.
He's been averaging like 12 points. I
I'm
don't think
saying
he's
2
had
field
like
goals,
11
right? I think it was like 2 for 11
in the past 2 games.
It's not that good.
Jeez, that's tough. That's
not,
tough.
not great by any means.
The problem with Ant though is what, because like that second game really wasn't that impressive from Ant. It was solid, but not impressive enough to where it threw me back. Especially after the first half, it just wasn't that impressive. So I can't. I like Ant, and I definitely wish the best for him. And I was a doubter at first, but this last season, especially the second half, or maybe not the entire second half, there was definitely a midsection of the regular season where Ant looked really, really good. But Jordan Poole, bro, that man,
Listen,
man
that's
can get it going.
That's the obvious answer. No doubt about it. Jordan Poole has been the most impressive young star. But to what you were saying about John Moran, I need to give him his due diligence. To post that video, the pressure that you just put on yourself to perform up to that caliber is crazy. He realized the expectation that he put on his shoulders, and for them to go and put up almost 30 points on the Timberwolves, that is swagger at its finest.
I do also like Ant Edwards saying he wants to play defense because not a lot of young
Facts.
guys want to come in and play defense.
Not many
right
do
away.
right away.
So I think that's actually pretty dope that he wants to play defense early, and he played really good defense for the past 2 games.
Real quick, I don't know. This statement was strong. You were low on Anthony Edwards?
In the beginning, because when we have players like that, especially in their first portions of their career, they're trying to figure it out. Normally they get so hyper focused on scoring that they kind of put the rest of the game on the wayside. So I do congrats him as well for highlighting defense, for him actually putting an effort on defense, because that is an aspect of the game that I think a lot of people forget. He's also had to continue to grow as a ball handler, distributor.
Definitely.
Because as time continues to progress and more defenses hone in on him, he's going to have to make the proper decisions and not turn the ball over 4 or 5 times a game while only getting like 1 or 2 assists. So those are other aspects to him. But it was really the defensive end of the floor I was going to hold off on until I was like really confident in him. You can go out there and give me 20, 23, and even do it efficiently, but there's so many other players in the league that can do that. You got to do a little bit more than that. And I just didn't know if I was going to see that from Edwards yet.
Yeah, that's true. There are just certain players that, although there are flaws in their game, you bet on the person.
Yeah.
And everything that I've heard from Anthony Edwards, I'm betting on the person.
Respect.
And a similar player to that, and I told you about him way early, like in August, is Herb Jones. Herb Jones was somebody that was a second-round pick, but when I sent Riv my top small forwards list, he was like, Herb Jones at 5. Why do you have him so high? And I told him, despite his shot, I think he's going to develop that, and he's already an all-world defender. And this segues perfectly into this Pelicans Willie Green topic, because I think Willie Green has done a fantastic job with the Pelicans. And
undoubtedly,
I had this thought yesterday in that getting the right coach matters significantly. You look at the two examples this season, Ime Udoka and Willie Green. Ime Udoka now changing around the Celtics completely, although they did have the personnel. He's the one that now made the game. He simplified the game for them, especially on defense with their switching tactics and their rotations. And then Willie Green with the Pelicans, to have 3 rookies play significant playoff minutes. And although the Suns didn't have Devin Booker in that second half, to still beat the Suns and get big-time performances. I mean, Jose Alvarado, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, I think they've all been fantastic. He led the Pelicans to the playoffs after a 1-12 start. That's the first team to do that since the 96-97 Suns.
Can't make it up.
So I've been super impressed by Willie Green, but how impressed have you been? I'll start with you, Lo.
I've been impressed all around. Like you said, you highlight a couple of players' names. Also, huge shout out to Jackson Hayes. He came out there, gave really, really good minutes in that game too. And was versatile. Like, he didn't look stiff. He looked well-rounded, quality defender. And Willie Green has really put a lot of confidence in a lot of those young players to go out there and perform. And really their first ever playoff appearance. And it's against a team that, quite frankly, they are underdogs. Like, if they come out and win a game, it's something that not too many people are expecting. So for them to go out there and play that confidently is great. Also, like the looks that he's getting Brandon Ingram. Ingram is looking nice. Like, as a fellow Laker fan, he looking nice, dog. He looking real nice. And then also, Herb Jones and some of the other unsung heroes on that team, man. It's just look great that they're going out there, stepping up, knocking down the shots, playing well, playing aggressive, and sticking to what the game plan is from Willie Green and communicating all throughout. Defensively, that team looks much better than I think a lot of people anticipated. Again, and I have to give a huge shout out. Personally, my favorite part of game 2 was that section that Jackson Hayes played. It was a subsection of the game where he was out there moving, laterally looked well, rebounding, running in transition, and just having another body out there. He was out there. I mean, CP3 getting a little bit older, but he was out there and able to defend in space as well. And you can't really find that too often in a lot of big men, but all the young players are playing really great.
Yeah, and in game 2, in that third quarter, which you're talking about specifically with Jackson Hayes in transition, that was kind of the turn of the game, getting those transition baskets. And ever since the first half of the Suns and Pelicans game in game 1, the Pelicans, I think, have been outplaying Phoenix for, the last 6 quarters. They've been outplaying them. People overlook this, but Willie Green, 10 seed, beats Greg Popovich in the play-in, beats Ty Lue in the play-in, 2 of the greatest coaches in the NBA. Now goes up against Monty Williams and now steals a game versus Phoenix. And like I mentioned, the 3 big rookies playing big-time playoff minutes. Herb Jones, I've been a huge fan of him for a very long time. He has a great story. Jose Alvarado, I did not expect this coming out of Georgia Tech.
He won DPOY in college.
Yeah, I know he was good in college, but just the size, when I watched him, I was like, I don't know how valuable
brings
he can
good
be.
energy to the court as well.
It's confidence. When you're a coach like that and you bring in confidence to young players, it just makes them play at a high level. It makes them want to play for you. It makes them give you their 100% effort. So like you said, even when Ty Lue, going back to Ty Lue, when he came in and instilled confidence in Reggie Jackson, and you've seen a wholly new Reggie Jackson, it's just confidence. That type of confidence breeds in players, and it helps them become better. Trusting in 3 rookies late in the stretch, like you said, in games against Greg, games against Ty Lue, against veteran players, that's tough to do against the Suns. That's been the best team in the league all year. Trusting 3 rookies, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, and Jose Alvarado, and Jackson Hayes, who hasn't been good in his stint in the NBA, and you trust in those 4 guys in crunch time minutes, that's huge. Plus Brandon Ingram, he's been playing better, putting the ball in his hands. CJ McCollum now being a point guard, transitioning him to that, and him being incredible in that position. So I think Willie Green just having that confidence and trusting his players and showing them that he believes in them, I think that's definitely helped, and it's going to help for them in the future because this is still a really young team.
And listen, you mentioned it, to start the season 1-12 and to now have them in a position where they're 1-1 with the best team in the NBA record-wise, That is just remarkable. Are you laughing because
No,
you
no.
think of the Lakers, you bastard? Is that what you're thinking of?
It's literally hot.
You really don't let me off the hook with
It's
anything.
hot, bro. The hot chocolate is hot.
All right, whatever you say. Regardless of that fact, out-rebound the Suns, to out-assist the Suns. You would expect that, given the fact that they have already had a time period with Devin Booker being out of the lineup, 8-3 record when Devin Booker hasn't played, you would think that it would still be relatively seamless with, listen, we have one of the deepest rosters in the NBA. We should still be relatively all right handling the 8th seed.
Well, let me ask a question. Devin Booker's out for 2 to 3 weeks. Is Chris Paul still supposed to win this series? I think so.
I firmly believe the
supposed
Suns
to.
should win this series.
Does
still.
he get slander if he lose? Just from
Easily.
us.
Yes.
I'm not talking about the other outside
Yes.
Twitter. I don't care about. I'm talking about
Personally,
us.
for me, no, because the Pelicans are a
No.
good team. Yes, this is
They're a sneaky good
let
team.
me-
He's
let-
not
let me
wrong.
I still
explain
think
it
Chris
to you.
Paul should win
Let
it,
me
though.
explain it to you this way: without D Book, the Suns lose their All-Star. Right? The Pelicans have 2 All-Star level players in CJ and Brandon Ingram. Those are 2 All-Star level players. If you have 2 All-Stars and you have great role players, Jonas, Larry Nance, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, like, you can win this series. And especially if they put Herb Jones on Chris Paul to neutralize
So
him,
let me ask you a better question.
it can make it really,
You
really
said
tough.
Chris Paul was an MVP caliber. He was an MVP level.
I never
player.
said he was a superstar.
No,
I didn't say that.
No,
That
stop.
was you.
No, stop. Hold on.
and
No,
listen, that's
don't say
fine.
nothing. You said Chris Paul was
I
in
had
the
him,
MVP.
I had him as the MVP in the
Yeah, okay, you did. So you did. Now that you had him, that you project he was an MVP like player, so he should still win this series because he still has the. If not, he's not going to win. He didn't win
Listen,
DPOY.
he showed at
but
game 1
had
that he has the capabilities
he has
to
He still
back
has Jay
offensively.
Crowder. He still has Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson was in the 6th man of the year. He was one of the finalists.
Facts.
Mikal Bridges was one of the finalists for
you go.
DPOY. So he also has a really good team.
Okay. Who on the Suns
Don't do that.
can
Go
you
ahead.
trust consistently to get you a basket, to create
In the
for
fourth,
other
Chris
rounds?
Paul.
That's no, I'm saying outside of Chris Paul, who's a player you can count on to get you a basket?
Nobody.
It's supposed to be Ayton. It's supposed to be.
It's
Ayton.
supposed to be. Yeah, you're right.
It's supposed to
Yeah,
be.
nobody.
Nobody. I look at the Pelicans and I'm like, CJ, anytime he wants can
You
get
have
it.
Bridges.
Brandon Ingram, anytime he wants can get a bucket.
Yeah.
And
Bridges,
then you
I
have
don't hate.
Jonas. I know DeAndre Ayton really outplayed Jonas in game 1, but in game 2 was much more of an even
Yeah.
matchup. And I feel like that switch going to Larry Nance and playing that smaller lineup really helped boost the Pelicans up. I just look at their set of role players. I didn't even mention Devontae Graham. Like their set of role players and having 2 all-star caliber players. If you take that all-star out of Phoenix, I wouldn't be shocked if the Pelicans win. Like I think the Pelicans have a real shot to win the series.
I don't know. I still think you're letting Chris Paul off the hook. You're still. I feel like you're letting Chris Paul off the. He
To say it's not his fault, he should win this
He
one.
should still win this.
He should win this one.
He should still win this
8-3 in the
series.
regular season without Devin Booker. They're playing
It's
a
not-
Pelicans
it's
team
not that-
who we have to give their credit. They are red hot.
They matched up bad against the Pelicans all year, though.
That's
You
what
can't. But even still, we're looking at them. They have the best
The
record
Pelicans
in the NBA.
are a good
We
team.
can't-
I'm not gonna
yes,
say
they
they're not
are.
a good team, but
They
the
are.
Suns are also
But the
deep
thing
too.
is, you guys are assuming that I feel like Chris Paul is going to play bad. It's
Oh,
not
no,
that.
no,
It's
no,
just
I'm
that
saying if he folds.
outside of Chris Paul, I really don't trust anybody else on Phoenix like to generate offense
Well, I mean,
when called upon.
because Chris Paul is one of the clutchest players in the league still as of today. So fourth quarter, it's close, and he folds. It's his fault. He's the guy. He's gonna even if
We
Devin
might have to
Booker's
see
there.
what Mikel. We're gonna have to see what Mikel is made of. Truthfully,
but it's just tough.
I feel like we
because
know what he's made of.
but listen, he put up a decent shooting performance game 2.
he was cutting.
Like,
Most of his half
Yeah,
his
and he
effort
has-
was
and
off
still-
cuts.
Now we know what he
They were
is.
off cuts.
We know what he is.
but now he's gonna be given a little bit more
I
opportunity.
really,
Their
I really
second-
don't think his role
Their
is going to
second
change.
best shot creator
I
is
mean,
Cam Johnson.
Devin Booker's out. I don't disagree, but with Devin Booker being out, these
And
shots
even
have to
though
go
Devin
somewhere.
Booker was going cuckoo crazy, they was down, still down like 1.
No, they were winning at halftime.
No, I'm talking about when Devin Booker went out. Like the Pelicans were still kind of controlling the game.
Facts.
So it's like
unfortunate.
Oh, that third quarter, for sure, the Pelicans started to pull away.
I don't
It's
know, that's okay.
unfortunate because
I don't want to hear no excuses for Phoenix.
No,
Not
there's
one.
none. There's none.
No,
Nope.
it's not about Phoenix. This
okay.
is about Chris Paul. It's unfortunate because
It's a team game.
no, whether it's been with the Clippers, you have injuries come up. Houston, hamstring can't play in game 6 or 7 with Houston when they could have beat Golden State realistically. And then last year, he's injured throughout the playoffs.
So what about the 3-1?
And now this year, D Book gets injured.
What about the 3-1? When Chris Paul choked.
Okay.
What about against the Thunder?
That was
When he choked.
you
are
name
being
those,
brutal.
I mean, those are
to
two
him.
He's not
examples.
getting he's not
being
getting
brutal
one
to
pass
him.
from me, man. Chris Paul is not getting a pass, bro. And I know that's your fave, but he can't get a pass, bro. He
No, you
got to
can't.
win.
You can't.
Oh, wait,
He
wow,
got-
he was the MVP this year. That's what he said.
At
I
one
said
point,
at
he
the
did have
mid-season,
him.
at the midpoint.
Man, he was never the MVP. Come on, let's cut it out. He won the MVP.
15 and 10, led the league in assists, best record
Nah,
in
he
the
not.
NBA.
No, that's not MVP.
I mean, if he's supposed to be that.
They gave Steve Nash an MVP with a little bit
And that
better
was a
points per
mistake.
game.
That was
Yeah, that
different.
It was. They
It was
gave it to
different.
him back-to-back
I think
years.
Stoudemire missed like 40 games though.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay, but the Suns still are the best team. Or were the best team.
I mean,
in the NBA.
listen. I ain't gonna go back and forth on 2006. We're talking about today. So
Fair enough. Yeah.
Chris
I
Paul got to
still
win.
expect the Suns to win the
Okay,
series.
that's what I want to hear.
But would any of you be shocked if the Pelicans win?
I would be.
yes,
You'd be shocked?
I would be.
I would be too, man. If you got an MVP, on the
If they
team,
make
you
it
should win.
competitive, no. But if the Pelicans, they're 36 and 46. If they win this series against a 60-win team, I might lose my mind. Like,
But
that'd be
the
insane.
Pelicans not really 36-40. I mean, they're 36-46, but it's not the same team they had the entire
Yeah,
season.
That's
it's
true.
not.
That is
And
very true.
and when they started off 1-for-12 in the beginning of the year, a lot of it had to do with Ingram missed games.
That is true.
CJ
The
McCollum
Suns
wasn't
still
there
have
at that
60
point in time.
wins.
No, I'm not saying they're not, but they're not. The Pelicans are probably the best 36 and 46 win team
That is true.
we've seen. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not really that. That's not a representation of who they are.
And you're right. And there's a lot of with Zion, with him coming out, there's a lot of smoke around Zion right now. But with this current roster construction added in with Zion, they could potentially make a Memphis Grizzlies type leap next year. I think that's in the cards for them with this current roster. But I have to ask, I want to throw you guys two scenarios.
I know what he's about to do. I seen it on Twitter.
Would you trade Zion for a treasure
Yes.
chest of assets and say, Brandon Ingram, you're the star.
Okay.
You get the keys, or do you keep Zion and see how far this core gets you? Lo, you said yes quickly. So
Yes.
what's your reasoning behind that?
We were actually talking about this on Twitch. The reason why is because I was like, bro, like as good as Zion is, he's been really, really good when he is playing. Damn, what is that in the background? He's been really, really good when he's playing. The problem with Zion though is that you give up a lot defensively with Zion. And on top of that, in terms of the offensive structure, your whole thing changes. I'm so sorry if y'all can hear that in the background.
I
Yeah,
can
you're
hear
good.
it,
Yeah,
but
we can hear it.
I'm trying
Yeah.
to just move past it.
Oh, okay.
But it was just
but the reason why I say that is I'll say it again. The reason I'm saying this is because defensively Zion gives up a lot. When you're 6'6" power forward, I think in today's game the power forward position has a lot to do defensively, anchoring that team because they have to be that's probably the most versatile defensive position in the NBA right now. He's 6'6", he can't defend, and on top of that, he's offensively, it has to flow through him. Ingram has already provided enough evidence that he probably can be that guy. CJ McCollum is also a quality second option. You got a lot of pieces surrounding him. Like, why try to force somebody who doesn't want to be there, who might also be injury prone? Why force him to be there? Especially when you know you can get a bunch of picks for him. Bro, stop it.
I would probably say yeah. It really depends. If the Pelicans and Willie Green, which I think they do, believe Ingram can be the guy. He's like 24, 25. He's a wing. This is a wing league. He has all the tools to be one of the best scorers in the NBA. He has the versatility. If you believe he can be that guy, you have CJ McCollum. Now you have young pieces developing. I agree. Zion would bring back a lot of assets. Maybe not players or a lot of players, good players, but a lot of draft picks. And if you can do it, I would say, yeah. You know, right now they're in the play-in. They just stole a game from the Suns without Zion Williamson. And, you know, you can probably get something back that complements Brandon Ingram and CJ McCollum. And then, boom, make it work. So I would say, yeah, if he doesn't want to be there, yeah, why not?
This is super hard for me. Outside of the fact that I just like Zion, the player, this Pelicans team has had a good amount of success without Zion Williamson, without 27 points per game on 61% shooting from the field. If Zion was on this team would be box office. Now, do I disagree with what you guys are saying? Not too much. I understand the idea of, one, he doesn't want to be here, and two, he's had struggles staying on the court. But we see what he can be when he is on the court. He's a top 20 basketball player when he is on the court. I think that you can still make adjustments to his height, the 6'6" power forward, What is going on?
No, because when you said he was a top 20 player, Low kind of looked at you.
Listen,
like,
and I'll say
I
that.
don't know if
I
he's
laughed.
top 20.
I say that with my chest. 27 points.
That's why I laughed.
In his first full year in the NBA on 61% shooting from the field.
He was tough. He hasn't played.
How many have done that in the NBA in the history of the game?
He's a bad defender, and he's going to have to adjust his playmaking to the style of play. I don't know if that's top 20.
But
that's what I'm saying.
we've seen players come into the league and really not hone in on defense, really just try to maximize their abilities on offense. And then as years come on, we start to see them really hone in on defense. Jason Tatum, for an example, where we saw him young, really work on his craft offensively. We spoke very highly of his offensive game, but we was wondering when he would really lock in on defense. We start to see him lock in on defense this year. And now on top of him having a great supporting cast around him, he's now a part of the best defense in the NBA right now and putting on a show against Kevin Durant. I think inevitably he can work to get to that point where he's playing good defense. But it's hard for me because, one, I know what he can be. I've seen what he can be when he's on the court. And I can only imagine what he would be doing if he were to be playing with this Pelicans team right now that is already 1-1 with the top seed in the Western Conference. But I can't ignore the fact that, one, he doesn't want to be there. Two, he struggled to stay on the court. And you can get a plethora of assets if you do move on.
The problem with this scenario, both of them, because there are flaws in both, you keep Zion, without a doubt, the ceiling for the team is the highest that it's going to be if you do trade him, I think, because he does have the ability to be a superstar, an MVP, one of the top players in the league. But defensively, he doesn't offer anything. He's slow-footed. He kind of has duck feet. He can jump really high, so he can block shots.
Blocker. Yep.
But with the style the Pelicans currently play, I don't know where he fits in, at least defensively, with this group. And I think the scenario you pick, anybody picks, has to do with how great you think Brandon Ingram can be.
Yep.
If he can be the best player on the championship team. If you believe that, then trading Zion
He's
is
still
the
really
right
young,
move.
too.
But if you don't think BI can be the number one option on the championship team, then I think trading Zion would be a mistake. Personally, I say trade him to the Knicks.
Anyways, so wait, you don't think?
Yeah, what are we saying right now?
You don't think even if you don't believe Brandon Ingram can be the number one, still to trade him because you can maybe potentially get another number one because CJ's kind of a 2 or a 3. Maybe you have Brandon Ingram there.
I think CJ's gonna play the one long term with.
No, I mean like
CJ's
option.
a point guard.
No, I mean like he's a number 2 or 3 option on the championship team.
Okay,
That's what I meant.
yeah.
Not like that.
Mhm.
So you think maybe you can go get all these picks or you could maybe go get a number one for Zion. Zion can go get you a number one possibly.
Yeah.
But who is the number one though? That's the question. Who's the number one?
I mean, what possible teams can they trade Zion to? Like
That would move their number one.
yeah, like I mentioned the Knicks, but realistically, they don't have any
was
player
laughable.
there that
We didn't take it serious. we heard you when you said it. We just kept it moving. We kept the podcast moving.
maybe
So we-
Quinn Grimes and IQ can get it done. I don't know.
You're gonna need a little more than
Five
that.
first round picks.
You're gonna need 5. You're gonna need
I
4
would
players
think
and
5.
5 first round picks.
Realistically speaking, it's just that the number one option player that they would need probably just isn't there. Like that's the reality. And I don't BI is really great, but he feels like he's more of a probably a slightly better version of Chris Middleton to a Giannis type of a player. Like Middleton is down there, he's making the right decisions. He's very valuable to the team, but in the moments when you really, really need him to be consistently great, I don't know if BI can be that player yet. And I'm not willing to like put my money towards it. But I don't know of the number one option that's like available right now to go trade him. The other problem with Zion is how you have to construct the team because he's at the power forward position and because he can't shoot, because he's going to need the ball in his hands. You're going to need a 5 who can space out the floor. And because he's also a spotty defender at best at this point, you're also going to need a 5 who can space the floor and defend. So you're already putting yourself at a massive disadvantage in terms of personnel that you can even put around him. So I say, of course, hold on to him now. But if there's an opportunity that somebody is upset and they no longer want to play for the team that they want to play for, bro, throw them the hall. Throw them the hall, and Zion plus those Lakers picks that you got, bro. You can easily get someone that you're looking for that return.
This thought just came into my head randomly. What about like Indiana?
Who's the guy they're getting back?
No, they're getting picks,
Tyrese.
like a top. Ooh,
like a number
No,
one.
Tyrese.
Oh, you were thinking Tyrese. I was thinking maybe Indiana can keep Tyrese. They can trade Miles Turner with Brogdon and then their top pick.
No.
That sounds.
no, but they need. It doesn't sound horrible when you think
No,
of
because
the
I think
idea
Jonas
of
is
think
on
you have to-
expiring.
I think
because
you have
listen,
to remember,
a
though,
lot of picks are going to
Zion-
be going.
Zion will have to get paid first,
I mean, yeah.
contract wise.
Mhm.
Miles is getting 18. Malcolm's getting like 20. So you got to throw, unless you would throw in Valanciunas, which I think
The team that I saw with the potential, I'm not gonna call them mid players, but like players who are great but not first options, is probably Toronto. Like Toronto is probably looking like they can't take no more of Pascal Siakam spin moves, so they're probably gonna just move him
Yo, that'd
And
be
then
interesting.
and then put Siakam, solid defender,
But isn't that just
whatever
putting
else
two-
they can get for him.
two fraudulent ones together, Siakam and Brandon Ingram?
I
But
actually
we don't know.
think,
We don't know if
Yeah.
Bi is a fraud.
All right, so
I
let me
don't
not say
think.
that,
I don't
but-
think. I think actually Ingram has a really, really high ceiling.
Okay, so let me not say Brandon Ingram. Pardon me, Brandon Ingram. But Siakam is for sure a fraudulent
he's
one.
for sure fraudulent. Yeah, he's a spinning top.
Okay, I like that. All right.
Because they had a strong chance to win it last night, man.
Yeah, I know.
And the
Siakam
Beyblade didn't
and
come
Fed
through.
VanVleet choked
But we ultimately know that
crazy.
Zion really wants to go to New York, though. They should just make it happen.
That's what.
I was going to make it harder for them. Because unless I get a top 5 pick, it's kind of going to stink.
But y'all gonna have to get first round picks for like 4 or 5 years.
That's fine.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Why
fine
your-
for y'all.
Your Indiana situation does not sound crazy because you give them Brogdon, you give them Miles Turner, you give them 3, 4, maybe 5, who knows, however many picks. We saw Paul George go for like a laundry list of first round picks. It's not out of the question.
What do you?
No, that's out of the question.
What do you mean, though?
What do you mean? I'm just saying Paul George, a superstar,
A certified
player. Correct.
superstar two-way
What about Zion for
machine.
the Clippers?
No, we play
No.
defense.
But you're telling me if he has a team that's telling him to commit,
We
I'm
play
saying
switchable 5-man
this
defense.
whole thing that Zion won't play defense.
I didn't say he won't. He just can't.
Can't.
I'm saying he won't.
Oh, see,
right
all right.
now, there's nothing that he's shown me, bro. He's built like me. Me and Zion on the same diet.
He's played one full season.
That's his fault.
So
that's bad.
that's the problem. That's actually
bad.
part of the
Yes,
problem.
but my point being, he's still young into his career. If we only saw one season out of
young and playing only one season and 3 is terrible. That's not
again, but then people would have given up on Joel Embiid, and we wouldn't be talking about an MVP
good. Well,
candidate
it was different.
right
He
now.
was kind of sitting out.
Well, he was out. He did not play for almost 2 full years.
Yeah, but the second he was sitting out though. It was a little different.
Does that make you feel better about that situation?
No, it doesn't at all.
My point being,
But
that's
I'm
my
just saying.
point exactly.
What do you say? I
It's
don't know
like
what
if
you're
we
saying.
give up on these players this young, and they end up
Well,
becoming
Embiid
these
also had
MVP.
two-way,
But what do we-
two-way
yeah, what
star
do we-
coming
True,
in.
that's
He's
true.
a two-way
But
machine.
again, Zion already showed that he could be one of the more dominant, potentially even the most
Embiid showed
dominant
that it
player in
is
the
that.
NBA. For sure, he showed that. It took him how long to be this?
2 years.
2 years to be this?
Oh no,
To
no,
be
But in year 2, he was dominant.
in Zion's first full year,
Second
he was
year.
He
And then the next year he
played,
didn't play.
20 games, and he played over 60 games
And
last
then the
season.
next year he didn't play.
Again, if we give up on these young players
I get what
this
you're
early
saying.
into their career,
But the clock is ticking. You know what I'm saying?
he's going into year 4.
No, I'm just talking about like franchise don't got all day to wait. Like as you say, he's going to year 4
For
correct.
someone of Zion's
No,
talent,
look,
they got all
he's
day.
going into year 4 correct.
No.
But they're gonna have to pay him soon. And he hasn't shown them a lot. Like he was great year 2, yeah. But nobody wants to pay for somebody who isn't gonna play. Not saying it's his fault.
not just soon. He got 1 year left. He has 1 year left on his contract. They have to pay him.
Availability is the best ability. You know what I'm saying?
And then next year, when he gives you 27 a game, yet again,
But then when he doesn't play the year after that, what are you gonna say?
the one thing, listen, we have to wait and see on the defense because we haven't seen anything. I can't really defend it. But do I firmly believe that if you're asking Zion to commit to defense, will he do it? Yes, he has the capabilities.
Yeah. No,
Why?
he does.
He's more than
Why
athletic.
do you believe that?
Because
Me and Zion have the same commitment to a diet plan, bro. We can't I'm not gonna believe
Stop
that he
it.
about to start
That New
committing to
Orleans
a
gumbo is
defensive
probably
scheme.
fantastic. That has nothing to do with the fact that even still, when he's on the court, he is a bad man.
He is
I
tough.
can't ignore
Offensively,
it.
he is tough. I won't lie to you. But there's another side of the game.
But you can get better.
Yeah, you can.
History has shown
He hasn't
us.
been on the court to get better.
See, but that's the
what
thing.
that's what we're saying. He hasn't been on the court to
Yeah.
get better.
You got to be
That's
open-minded.
all.
Can we be open-minded?
Like okay.
Can we be optimistic that
He's not on my
a
team, so I could care less.
superstar caliber player in Zion Williamson can somehow, some way learn how to be a great defender?
Maybe.
You would trade everybody on your team for Zion right now.
Which team?
Oh my God!
He said, "Which team?"
Come on!
Which team?
Don't laugh at him.
No,
Don't
but-
laugh
no,
at him
that's a
because
le-
I've had
that's
to
a
sit
legit-
here and
that's
be
a
called a
legit question.
bandwagon for you
Which
to do that.
team?
Come on!
The Bulls? No. Why would I trade everybody for Zion?
I said you would. Any player on your team is available to trade for Zion.
You think so?
Like you would give them up.
You think I'd give up the Marvelous for Zion?
Why wouldn't you?
After game one, you would have. After game one, you would have.
You give Zach
He
Levine
just
two
gave.
for Zion.
He just gave Giannis 16.
He gave a
Come
solid.
on, bro. I ain't giving
performance.
up nothing. Come on, man.
You trading Caruso?
Hell yeah.
Arguably the best
For
player on your
Zion?
team.
If I have to just get Caruso for Zion, yes.
I was just kidding.
yes.
Nah, bro.
Yo, but Caruso was the best player on the court last night, and that's with
Bro, it's
DeMar
Zion.
scored over
All right, now
40.
come on.
Of
Caruso-
course, I'm
Caruso-
joking. I'm
Yeah.
joking, but still, come on. We can't ignore the fact that Caruso is eons better than what you were expecting coming into this season.
Says the Lakers fan who let him walk.
And I was
I'm about to say,
devastated.
not eons. Yeah, he was looking like that with the Lakers.
I was No, whoa. Listen. I am Caruso's biggest fan at this table. I told both of them Caruso was the real deal. They refused. They thought it was a situation. He goes to Chicago and he proves that he is
know what?
as advertised.
Congratulations.
What's the real deal? A role player?
A solid, a great role
No,
player.
y'all- no,
That's
you
what I'm saying.
dragging
Like,
it. Come on.
let's not undermine what he does and brings
He
to the court.
undermines role
Of
players.
course, no, he definitely
I don't
does.
undermine role
And
players.
meanwhile, his
Yes,
favorite
yes.
player of
You
all
do, though.
time
You
is
do.
PJ Tucker. So let's not. Can we not undermine
Yeah,
role
I
players?
love PJ Tucker. That's my guy.
Again, but you love him because why? Because he does a great job in his role.
I think he's a bit higher than a role player though.
No, he's not.
What?
What's higher than a role
He's
player?
nothing but a role. So then Zion's higher than a role player.
It's just, I
I mean,
think
excuse me. Lonzo. Lonzo's higher than a role player. Caruso's higher than a role
No,
player.
Lonzo's 1,000% higher than a
No,
role player.
because this is his logic. I'm using his logic, Lo. That's what I'm doing.
What is PJ Tucker? He's
I
not a
think-
role player. What is he?
He's led the league in corner threes for the last
What
3-4
is he? You
seasons.
see
What does
how-
that
Stop it,
mean?
man.
What is that?
Stop.
He's the best corner 3-point shooter I've probably seen ever. From that
But what
spot,
does that
it's
mean?
automatic.
What does that mean?
Ray Allen?
Defensively, he's a Kevin Durant stopper. Kevin Durant said that
Kevin
he's the
Durant
toughest
averaged 30,
matchup for
so
him.
The
when
Kevin
he plays.
Durant stopper is actually Jason Tatum. Let's put it to bed.
Well,
And
now
Al Horford.
now it is.
And Al Horford.
And Tony Allen. Never forget Tony. And Ron Artest. Oh my God. Never forget
It's a
Ron.
bunch of them. There's a bunch
It's
of
a
them.
lot of them out there.
And his left
I'm
hand.
sorry, man. I'm
Caru-
sorry.
Caruso is fine.
He's
fine.
He's an excellent role player. One of the best role players in the league.
Don't worry about him because he got. I took my
I know,
ratio
I know.
back. So
There we go.
I took my
There we
ratio
go.
back.
And I'm the only one here that had them taking a game.
yep. So I took my ratio back.
So you think it's going to be Bucks in 5 then? Without Chris Middleton.
I still think the Bucks should win the series.
Without Chris Middleton though.
The defense has been bad. It's really unfortunate. It really hasn't been as great, nor near as great as last seas's. I do have my
Mr.
concerns, but I still
DPOY.
think. Listen, Giannis can only do so much, and he's
Yeah, I
still
know.
been playing great.
Yeah.
But Caruso, he had him in hell last night.
Yeah.
But I still feel very comfortable. Milwaukee should win this series, but the Bulls are going to give them some tough games
We're
for
going
sure.
home.
Unfortunately.
We're home.
Oh wait, you're going home as into Chicago.
Yeah.
Right,
I'm about
yeah.
to say it was home. It was home last night. That Milwaukee series, that Milwaukee crowd was crazy. There was a bunch of Bulls fans in there, man.
Because they right next to
I
each
mean,
other.
I know, yeah,
Bulls
they right
fans
next to
are international.
Yeah.
That is true.
I guess.
This past week, there's been a lot of talk about the Most Improved Player Award because the finalists came out. It was Darius Garland, John Moran, and DeJounte Murray. And you had Draymond Green be the spokesperson for why Jordan Poole isn't on there and why Tyrese Maxey isn't out there. So do you think that the media this year, or you can say in years past as well, has done a horrible job with the MIP Award finalists?
Well, for me, I always thought they did a solid job up until like this year. You know, I thought it was always.
I didn't think this year was that crazy.
I mean, because you gotta look at like if you let me use a few guys off the top of my head. Paul George, he won Most Improved Player of the Year. He went from good player to All Star, improvement. Derrick Rose, he went from good player to All Star. He was in the MIP award. You know, so it's like
Conversation.
MIP should be from like if you were not good or you were out of the league, in the league, and then you come up and you turn into a star or caliber like player. I feel like for Ja. Like same thing I said for Ant Edwards before, like we kind of already knew he was going to be a star. John Morant, he had averaged 30 in a playoff series against the best defense in the league in Utah. Like we kind of already had this idea of what he was going to be, how he was going to be. And Jordan Poole was a guy, even Tyrese Maxey was two guys who kind of were like, I don't want to say they weren't playing, but they weren't like what they were this year. So the jump for them, same thing with Desmond Bane, DeJounte Murray, they all made significant jumps to the point of not only just their numbers, but people looking at them as like all-star caliber players. For John Morant, we kind of already knew what he's going to be. So I feel like this year they kind of messed it up in a bit, just giving it to him because his numbers significantly improved, but not looking at it as we already knew what John Morant was going to be. These other guys kind of went from, oh, we think they're good players or they possibly have that potential to now these are all-star caliber-like players.
I understand your sentiment. Yes, we should have projected at least that John Morant was going to enter superstar caliber potential, but you needed to see it over an entire season. To go from 19 points per game, which is already great, really good, I should say, to go to 27 points per game over an entire season, and your team's the number 2 seed in the Western Conference, it gets to a certain point where a player like that needs an award. And even still, let's not even say that he needs an award just because his team's one of the best in the league and he's averaging ridiculous numbers. But to still jump up 8 points per game in your average is something that needs to be respected and acknowledged. Do I agree with Draymond that Jordan Poole was excellent this season and should be a nominee for Most Improved Player? Yes, but am I wrong to think that DeJounte Murray is more improved than Jordan Poole? Were we thinking of DeJounte Murray as an all-star before this season? Outside of you, River, because you love DeJounte Murray.
That's my guy.
Are we looking at Darius Garland coming into this season as an all-star? These are guys that respectfully took a strong leap in their progressions as a basketball player. And that's credit to Poole. That's credit to Maxey. That's credit to Bane as well, because they had excellent seasons. And Bane specifically went up 9 points per game in his averages as well. Bane's another one that should be upset that he's not in this discussion as well. But you have to look at it in this lens. Garland was a part of a team that overachieved this season. DeJounte Murray's team, we were all sat at this table and said they might be the worst team in the NBA in the Western Conference. And somehow, some way, they were a 10th seed in the Western Conference, made the play-in. These 3 guys are more than deserving of being the most improved player, and John Morant should win it by far.
That was a great promo.
I agree with you. And at first glance at this, when you hear Draymond give his spiel in a post-game press conference about why Jordan Poole should win it, you're kind of like, yeah, why isn't Jordan Poole a finalist? But then when you go through it, and even Draymond's argument was flawed because he's like, Jordan Poole going from G League to where he is now. I mean, this isn't an award over a 3-year period. This is an award over the previous season.
For sure.
Jordan Poole last year without Kelly Oubre was averaging 16 points per game. Jordan Poole last year, you can debate, was the Warriors' 3rd best player during stretches last season. He popped off last season. He did. And you look at all these guys' cases, you're right. Darius Garland goes from second-year inefficient player to all-star. Cleveland exceeds expectations. DeJounte Murray, same thing, makes that all-star jump. John Morant is a tricky one, but you're right. He goes from all-star to now we're looking at him as a superstar level player.
Box office type caliber player.
Because of that, I don't think just because these players who we had expectations at least on John Darius, because DeJounte Murray wasn't a lottery pick. He was a 29 pick in the draft. Why have people all of a sudden try to make this award, oh, this shouldn't be about most improvement. It should be about which player overcame or met expectations. Because what you're basically saying with this award is, oh, Ja and Darius shouldn't get it because they were expected to do this. But this is not what this award isn't an expectation award. It's just an improvement award. And Jordan Poole has no case over John Morant in the most improved player award either. Like, you look at the statistical jump. The Grizzlies were a better team. The 2nd seed, Warriors were the 3rd seed. Morant made an 8.5 point jump. Poole made a 6.5 point jump. Poole's efficiency stayed the same from this year to last year. John Morant's efficiency jumped up tremendously. So when you look at the stats, yeah, the expectation argument is, I think, a flawed one. When you actually look at the stats and see who's actually improved, John Morant made a more statistical improvement than Jordan Poole. I don't think just because they have expectations that they shouldn't be in the running for an most improved player.
Yeah, I agree. The argument of basically who had a better story doesn't make any sense. If you even look at the rest of the people who've won the award, like Randall and Ingram, they were top picks. Ingram was like the 2nd overall pick. He still won it. So he was expected to be the player that he was. Same thing you can argue even with Oladipo. He was a top pick when he was drafted as well, but he was still expected to be who he was. So it's really about the level of improvement, not necessarily who has a better story. In terms of, I genuinely. Oh, yeah, another thing I want to say: second year players don't win it. Like there's never been a sophomore player who's ever won it ever in the awards existence. Because it's just, I'm assuming it's just, hey, it's your second year. So, of course, there's some type of improvement. But when you improve beyond that, that's what we want to see. I personally think Josh should win it. I think Ja Morant went from, like y'all said, maybe a weak all-star caliber player to all-NBA. Like, Ja Morant has an argument to make, like, first or second all-team all-NBA. Like, that's the caliber player he's jumped into, and he's leading a Memphis Grizzlies team who had the second best record in the Western Conference. So like those are all the very legitimate arguments. And I don't even mind with the other two. Personally, I didn't have a problem with the finalists. I thought the finalist selection was fine. People are just kind of upset. Maxey and Bane are not going to receive it because they're second-year players. And Jordan Poole, like you said, if you watched him last year, the second half of last year, you can kind of see a lot of what we're seeing right now already starting to occur anyway. So I have no problem with it.
Yeah, I agree. And we're going to move on to the Warriors and talk about them because they have been flat out dominant in these first two games versus Denver. They played tonight, game 3 in Denver. I don't know about you, Lo. I know about you, Drew, that you weren't very high on the Warriors. Riv and I we picked the Warriors to win the championship this year.
How are you putting that on me? How are you putting that on me?
Because you said the Lakers would win 65 games.
But that has nothing to do with
You said that?
That's the take. There it is.
This man
said that?
I'll tell you what, Lo, he just wanted you to know that I said the Lakers would win 65 games because I've been putting on such a clinic today. He had to bring me down a peg. You know what? I get it. Man. I understand it. We had some bad moments. But
clinic is a wrong word.
It's all right.
Picking Lakers in 65 games.
Hey, listen, man. That's earlier in the season. Here we are, April 21st, 2022. We moved different.
You trusted Trevor Ariza.
Hey, man. Again.
You were one of those people? Man, that's tough.
Come on, Lo. Aren't you a Laker fan too?
I am, but I'm not delusional.
I am delusional, especially when it comes to LeBron James.
What were your expectations for the Lakers this year?
Me?
Coming into the season
for sure, make the playoffs. Like I thought they were going to make the playoffs, potentially compete. After 2 months, though, I was like, oh yeah,
the ship is. Listen,
it was early. It was
very early.
You know, somebody sent a video. He tagged me on a video on Twitter. It was a clip from the podcast that I was like, what are the odds the Lakers missed the playoffs this year?
I saw that.
And then I was like, and then we talked about LeBron getting hurt, and I said, if LeBron gets hurt, this team is a lottery team.
Yeah, man.
They're that bad.
Good for you, man.
Damn. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Good for you.
No, but Riv and
I was not low on the Warriors.
I
just was not locked for them to win the Western Conference Finals. That wasn't me.
That's still stupid.
Riv and I were high on the Warriors all season long, even before the season.
Listen, you fell off on them. You fell off on them. You said that the Suns were going to win the Western Conference.
When
you fell off on Steph. You didn't fall off on the Warriors.
He said that the Suns were the...
No, I didn't.
You know I don't remember episodes.
I didn't say that.
It was like maybe a couple weeks ago.
I didn't say that. I've always picked the Warriors.
That's not that crazy, though. That's not that crazy. The Suns win.
It's not. It's exactly.
That's literally the Western Conference Finals.
It's literally delusional to me.
Probably. Unless the Grizzlies have something to say about it.
No, but Lo,
what
were your expectations for the Warriors coming into the season?
Actually, I made a video saying like the Warriors are back. Like before the season began, the Warriors are back. Like all this talk about how the window of opportunity is closed. I never understood it. Every player just needed to be healthy, and like I don't know. The conversation about the Warriors and Curry has been nasty over the past 3 years. People to act as if like he's never won a championship before Kevin Durant arrived. It was tough. It was tough. But to see where they are right now. To be fair though, I'm not going to overreact too much to them demoralizing arguably the worst team in the playoffs. I'm not going to do that.
Embarrassing.
I'm not going to do that. But they look extremely good, and especially with D-Book out now, bro. There's a very realistic chance that they could find themselves in the finals.
To be fair,
now they're going to win it. I don't know what's going to go in the Western Conference. I mean, Kevin Durant, he apparently doesn't have a left hand anymore.
Really.
I don't know what's going to happen with that
Relevant.
team.
To be fair, Lo, we're making them look like the worst team in the playoffs right now.
No, they are the worst
They're
team.
not the worst.
No, they are. They're
not the worst team.
Who is better than them?
You think the Pels would make them look this bad? Honestly, honest God, if they played in the series,
I think the Pels from top to bottom is just a better.
But
team.
do you think they would make them look this embarrassing?
No, because they need more guard play. They don't have as much.
We're just
guard
making them look terrible.
Oh yeah, it's a bad matchup. It's
We're
a
just
horrible
making them look embarrassing. And now I'm gonna start my monologue.
So the question: Can anyone stop the Warriors?
No.
Oh my
matchup.
God.
Yes.
Nah, all right,
Can you
all right,
stop?
all right,
Thank you.
all right. Let me
Thank
take
you.
Wait,
my,
in the West,
right.
in the West,
let me take my hat off. Let me take my Warriors hat off. Let me be
no, in
unbiased.
the West, it's a no.
Say it with your chest. You know nobody can stop the Warriors. They're winning the
Not in the
championship.
West.
No, they're
winning the
undoubtedly winning the chip. I swear to God on my life, I will put $1,000 they'd win the championship.
I can't wait to
They're
talk.
winning the championship. They're coming out the West if they are healthy, and I've been saying this all season. You guys, people on Twitter, Instagram, been running around. Oh my God, the Suns are better. Oh my God, the Grizzlies are better. Okay, yeah, the Grizzlies won in the regular season. They won the series. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Clay missed some games. Dre missed a game. But okay, you could take those wins. Phoenix was all excited because they beat us twice. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Clay missed some games. Dre missed some. This team, the Big Five has not played a game since that first game of the playoffs. And I already told people all year, if those five play, you have Steph, Clay, Wiggins, Dre, and then you have Poole. Who's really you have to beat them 4 times. There's nobody that can stop them. Dre at his best defensively. Wiggins being one of the best perimeter defenders on that team. Steph, Clay, get hot. Poole, get hot. Be that guy. Wiggins just turns into a spot-up shooter, which he's comfortable in that role now, just being able to, at times, maybe exploit a mismatch or hit that open three, and then defensively rebound for them and be that perimeter defender. Clay still being able to guard the second or third best player on the other team, and then him getting hot. There's no team that can realistically beat them, and then all the spacing around them. Like, it's just like the Phoenix is a great story. You know, they won 60 games. They're incredible. Chris Paul and Devin Booker. That's a great team. If they match up, you have to beat the Big Five 4 times. I don't think they can do it. Chris Paul's cooked. He's old. I'm sorry. I'm just going to be honest with you. They can't do it. Memphis is a young team. I like their team. They're a team that really gives us a lot of trouble. But like I said, if the Warriors are healthy defensively and offensively, there's just no team in the West, in the playoffs, in the playoff atmosphere that can necessarily beat them. I was hearing Dallas noise 2-3 weeks ago. I was hearing all that. Sometimes I even heard the Joker, he's going to come in. I'm not going to say who said this, but they tweeted out Nuggets in 7. He's an idiot. We're going to just walk away from that. We're just going to walk away from that. And if somebody agreed with him, I was very upset. But we're just going to walk away from that.
Who said that?
Not important. But we're just going to walk away from that.
No, you can say his name.
Warriors coming out the West, man. And the only team in the East that fears me, probably the Boston.
You know what, man?
Boston does.
And I
Yes,
really
Boston
was
should.
waiting because there was a reason why you were staying so away from the Eastern Conference and really just going all in on the Western Conference, because there is one team in the Eastern Conference that I know for a fact you don't want to play.
You're going to tell me
The
this?
Boston Celtics.
Oh, no, I would love to play them.
Love to play them
it's a
is
great series.
strong.
It'd be a
Love
great
to play
series.
them
Why
is
would I not
strong.
love to play a tough
Not
series?
love.
We're not,
You want to talk about matchup? Because they don't.
Steph has already seen a boxing one. He's already seen that. I know old lanky Snake is struggling over there.
But the difference
Steph
is,
has already
listen,
seen that.
And shout out to JC because he put it very perfectly.
What do you say?
The fact that Steph Curry's ability to play off ball benefits him in a boxing one. Kevin Durant, who's more of an isolation basketball player,
Get better.
boxing one, it's killer.
He has to get
Now,
better.
you don't want to play the Boston Celtics because their lineup's so versatile. Defensively, it does not matter who you want them to play small.
You want
Sure.
Al Horford
No,
out
you
there on
want
the
them-
island
You
with
want them to
Steph
play
Curry?
because Rob will be healthy come finals.
Rob Williams will come back. Yeah.
Rob will be healthy come finals. You put in White to now play that small ball lineup, or you want to put in Grant Williams, who's been excellent for them all season long.
Yeah.
This is not a great matchup for your Warriors. Listen, do I think that the Warriors could go to the finals? Yes. Do I still think that the healthy Suns team is going to put up a great series against them? Yes. Will I still side with the Suns? Yes. But as it currently stands,
So you mean to tell me
I'm not overreacting to you guys beating up on a team that when Jokic isn't on the court, they're the worst team in basketball.
When he's on the court, they're also the worst team in basketball.
As of right now. Hey,
Well,
listen,
what
you
you-
guys
okay.
are killing them.
Wait,
What
hold
you're
on,
saying-
hold on, Joe. Just
yeah,
real quick.
yeah.
I just want to hold on. So you mean to tell me that this Boston Celtics team that can go small, that's a bad matchup for the best small ball team in the league?
No, because they match up very well against you
But
guys.
that doesn't mean it's a bad match. They're playing. Their strength is they're going to go small, which is basically putting us at our best.
But the thing is,
which is small ball.
They can play small.
That's
they
fine,
can,
but that's
it doesn't matter
that's
what they
us
do.
at our best. Small
They've
ball.
they've shown
what?
that they can be the best team
How?
in the NBA this season.
We won 51
regardless
games, and
of
all our
what-
players were hurt.
what
How
is-
have they shown
and
that?
since the All-Star break, the Boston Celtics have been the best team in basketball. That's facts.
But you said they, at their best they can be with us. No.
No, they can beat anyone in the NBA. It's that simple.
Yeah, they've been the best team in the All-Star break.
Because
Steph has missed time. Dre missed time. But
Jason
fine.
Tatum had a horrible game. The Boston Celtics had arguably their worst half since the All-Star break, and
Brooklyn
they
can't
won.
guard.
Okay,
Brooklyn can't guard,
but
we can guard.
So here we are. You know what? You guys stole the Lakers in my face. You guys sat here and told me that the Nets were going to win in 6 games.
It's 2-0.
My point being is they can't guard, but we're minimizing a great win that they were down double digits.
I didn't know. Wait, hold up. We haven't even got to the Nets yet. How are we minimizing their win? We haven't even got to the Celtics yet. Nobody's minimizing the Boston
River
Celtics.
literally just said they can't guard.
No, it's about the Nets. They can't guard.
That's my point.
But
so you think the Nets can guard?
No.
So
I'm saying we can guard. We can guard.
You can guard, but even still, they're the best defensive team in the NBA.
We were the best defensive team in the NBA when we were healthy. You know that, right? We were running away with that.
But that was before the All-Star break.
Because we got hurt. The injuries derailed us.
That does not matter to me
at
all
now.
when they've shown against the best offensive duo in the NBA that they can minimize the quote-unquote best scorer of all time. And Kyrie Irving became irrelevant.
Let me ask this question. Wait, so you called the Nets the best offensive duo in the NBA. Yeah, you're right. They're the best offensive duo. Are they the best offensive team? Are they a better offensive team than the Warriors?
Absolutely not. But my point being is, if you can minimize probably the second best,
120 points last game.
100? No, they scored under 115. I think
so. It was like 113.
They barely did anything, and Kevin Durant was 4 of 17 with a majority of his points coming from the free throw line.
We're on the Celtics-Nets thing way too much, and I just want to react to what you said.
Because I'm telling you right now, the Celtics are the team the Warriors do not want to play. Okay. It's that simple.
I mean, it's going to be a great matchup for sure. But tactically, the Warriors are scared. Come on, come on.
We have the best player.
The Warriors would be the favorites in that series. Not saying that the favorites win, but they'd be the favorites in that series. For one, you talk about the Celtics. Oh, they played the worst offensive half. Is Kevin Durant not having the worst 2-game stretch of his entire career?
And why
right now?
is that?
Because he doesn't know how to pass.
Because he's playing against the best. He can't go left, and he's playing against the best defense in the NBA. Jason Tatum has him in hell.
What does Draymond have? Joker
Game
though?
2.
Respect. Pay respect.
But that's it. That's all they have. It's Jokic and no one else.
All they have is KD and Kyrie. What the hell?
But we're talking about the Celtics here.
But we're talking about the Warriors.
But I'm telling you who the Warriors would have to be going against.
Dre locked up.
So game 2, I understand.
Is Dre locking Tatum?
No, he's not going to guard Tatum, but he's locking the Joker, the best offensive big in the league.
Okay, he's
pay respect. Just pay respect. That's what I'm saying. Just pay respect.
This is irrelevant to my conversation here because all I've done is acknowledge that yes, y'all are smacking this Nuggets team, but I'm not overreacting to it.
This is what I don't get because game 2, Kevin Durant was the defense on him. Game 2. 100% I give Boston credit. Game 1, he was just missing shots.
Okay, but you sat here.
No, what?
Either
he was just missing shots.
Either way, you
Game
want to.
1, he was missing shots.
The defense,
he had great looks that he usually
defense
makes.
that the Celtics have played games 1 and game 2
Amazing.
has been a borderline flawless. The only reason why I wouldn't say flawless is because Kyrie Irving could do no wrong that game.
Because they can't stop him.
But you know what they did? The next game, they basically completely removed him from the equation. He was irrelevant. It wasn't even like he was on the basketball court.
Facts. Yeah, they played amazing defense.
I'm going to double down on what you said, Riv, about the Warriors.
Talk to me.
The Warriors are winning the championship. It's as simple as that.
Too safe.
I don't care.
Too safe. You said that I got the safest takes.
Too safe?
This
what
is
are you
safe.
talking about?
This is safe.
What's safe about it? It's not like we're just making this take. We've been making this take since
82
August.
games, man.
Since
You
August.
fell off.
I never fell
You
off.
fell
I don't know why you're
off.
saying that. I really don't know why. I don't know why you're saying that. Maybe you dreamt it. Maybe you dreamt it. Maybe you dreamt it. I don't know what you're saying.
Me.
I never fell off. I had the Warriors coming out the West. You check my bracket on Twitter that I put. I have the Warriors winning the championship. I don't know what you're talking about. The Warriors with Draymond and Steph Curry playing, they're 29-7. That's an 80% win percentage, the best win percentage of any team in the NBA, even the almighty first seed Phoenix Suns. Although the Suns are the first seed, they can't beat Golden State fully healthy. They just can't. We saw their matchups earlier in the season.
Excuse me.
It's just when the Warriors get hot, there's nothing you can do.
No doubt.
And the Suns just don't have enough offensive firepower to fight against Golden State. Yes, they're dominating Denver. Yes, Denver isn't a good team outside of Jokic. We'll get to Jokic later on. But you're right. The Golden State Warriors are making the Nuggets look worse than they are. Like it's looking so bad. Jokic, who averages 26, 13, and around 8 in the regular season, in the playoffs, he's averaging 26, 10, and 6. But he's 0 for 8 from 3 this series. He's shooting 48%
He's been
from
poor,
the field.
He's been poor from 3-point for a little while now, though.
But he hasn't hit a 3 this series.
No,
he's 0 for 8.
He's been worse than he's been normally, but even still, he hasn't been a great 3-point shooter.
And we talk about Steph. I mean, 25 points per game in a series, averaging 22 minutes per game. Yo, I don't care who Boston has. Nobody can guard Steph. Marcus Smart, DPOY.
Marcus Smart can't?
He can't guard Steph. He can't guard
What are you
Steph.
about to say?
I'm not saying that he's locking him up. He can guard Steph Curry.
So what's
If Drew
guarding
Holiday
28
can't, what
points per
makes you
game?
think Smart can?
Marcus Smart has been the best defensive player in the league. Forget about the award. He has been perfect almost all season. Look at what he's been doing to the Nets.
He's locking up Steph.
He doesn't even guard Kyrie
Again,
or
I
KD
said
a
he's
lot.
not locking him up where he's completely taking him out of a game, but he is 100% making Steph Curry struggle.
The flaw with that is that it's not like Steph Curry plays ISO. They're going to set a bunch of screens to get Smart.
And Marcus
off it.
Smart works over screens. You've watched him all season long. He goes over screens. He fights through screens to stay on ball.
Recency bias.
I'm talking about the whole season. Go ahead,
I'm
Lo.
just trying to figure out. Wait. Who do you? If in the series, who are you saying will win in the series? Celtics or Warriors?
Me, I have the Celtics.
I have the Warriors in 6, man.
It's a great series.
I got to go in this.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I would more so prefer if the Bucks are 100% healthy. I would say the Bucks. Because the
of
Bucks
the
would have to
size.
actually news just broke that Middleton is going to miss the remainder of the first round.
Yeah.
Oof.
So
But let me ask you this, Lo.
yeah, he's going to miss the.
Is
the
there a
remainder of the
team
first
that matches up with Milwaukee better than Boston right now?
Milwaukee's
No,
a bad
Boston-
matchup for Boston.
Other way around.
No.
Because they have the answer for Giannis.
I think Philly
Who's the
matches
answer?
up
What?
to Boston.
Giannis.
Al,
What is the answer?
Al Horford and Rob
You
Williams.
serious?
You can't be serious.
I'm serious.
Why
Miami,
wasn't
Miami,
Al
Miami
Horford-
matches up
Now-
better
now
than
Embiid-
with
Miami
the Bucks.
does, yes.
Miami matches up better with
They
the
have
Bucks.
for sure because they've shown in the past that they can.
They
do
have
it.
the game
But-
plan to stop them.
But true or false? You guys talking so much messed up my point initially.
Sorry, bro.
That's all right.
You talk about Rob
Oh,
Will.
excuse me, I got it. Rob Will and Embiid. Rob Will and Al Horford absolutely put Embiid in hell. What's the difference between doing that with Giannis?
Wait,
because Embiid is posting up and is not as great as a passer as Giannis is.
True,
talking about in the
but
regular
Embiid
season?
has done a great job of working on his passing. But you're right, Giannis is
well,
a better
Embiid is
passer.
also a lot of finesse and just he wants to do a lot of this extra stuff on the perimeter. Giannis is just a grown, dominant man. He's just going to go down there and do what he needs to do. He's not going to play with his
But
food.
that is a great wall. Even still, Rob Will and Al Horford are going to do a solid job defensively.
Who is Rob Will helping off of, or Al Horford?
They have shooters everywhere.
Who?
Splash
Because
Mountain.
because fair enough, Drew Holiday he sometimes shoots like Eric Bledsoe sometimes, so that's kind of tough. But if I have Giannis like penetrating the paint, especially if they trying to play small and I don't have that Brook Lopez on the floor, then it's literally shooters around
Four
him
shooters
every
out there.
position. Huh?
It's 4 shooters out there. And
Yeah,
you can
four-
play
yeah,
small
there's
if they
gonna
have
be
Al Horford out there because you can put
Yeah.
Chris Middleton or like a guard on Al Horford. You can do it.
Yeah, there's
so
gonna
it's
be
like
four.
they're going to play 4 shooters out there. They could probably Boston's probably going to play a zone or they're going to do if they do this switchable, it's going to be tough because then you're going to get a Derek White on Giannis or you're going to get it. And Marcus Smart is elite. Don't get me wrong, he's an elite defender, but this is playoff basketball. Marcus Smart cannot guard Giannis. I don't care what you say.
No.
So it's going to be a switch. Of
course
and then
not.
you're going to have to help. It's going to be
In the
tough.
Eastern Conference, the worst matchup for the Boston Celtics is the healthy Milwaukee Bucks team. It's as simple as that. That's their worst matchup. If they
And I would go as far as say a healthy Milwaukee Bucks team is harder for the Warriors just because they don't really have an answer for Giannis.
Yeah, exactly.
Or they
The
would have
size.
to spend two players.
Any
at
team
Giannis.
that's going small with the Warriors, that's bad for you. The Warriors are the best small ball team in NBA history. That's what they do. You're playing to their strength. To beat
true.
them, you have to dominate inside and have it big. That's why if Denver was healthy, this would have been a little bit more different. But it's not. Like, it's just not. No offense to Boston, though. They're great.
even if Denver was healthy,
I don't think it.
will.
Well, I would say yeah. I don't think.
No, I mean, I'm just saying it wouldn't look like it wouldn't look like what it's about to look like for about a couple
Because
days.
it's 4 games.
It's about to look
4
like
games.
4 really bad games. Might have been 6,
Tough.
maybe 5.
Hey, shout out to Curry though, man. Shout out to Curry. I'm happy he back, man.
Yeah,
Shout out to Curry.
and Steph Curry, the unselfishness on display to be on the bench and then not care.
Listen, even though I know that you're not happy that he's the one delivering this, he's so right. The fact that he is as selfless as he is to come off the bench and not care or put his ego at the forefront by any means,
Tim Duncan, like,
Now, honestly, there's no
Might be
one.
more.
No, exactly. He could not be more right.
Tim Duncan did.
There-
I don't think he came off the
we
bench.
have
No,
never.
but the selflessness,
We've never.
you know?
No, we've never seen a player as selfless as Curry. Because name another superstar that's deferring to Kevin Durant. Name another superstar that is
D-Wade.
Carmelo Anthony, who was washed.
D-Wade.
D-Wade.
Okay,
yeah.
not. I like
D-Wade.
it. I like it.
But no other superstar is going to defer to somebody so much.
Like Jordan Poole.
Defer to Jordan Poole to the degree of coming off the bench. Like I've never in my life seen
I wouldn't
that.
do it either. I ain't
That's
blame
setting
you.
a great example for Jordan Poole when I think they're
Exactly.
probably going to make him a sixth man.
Curry-
He'll
Curry-
be the sixth man.
You could argue he's the greatest leader of all time.
Yeah, he's gonna win 6th man of the year in like 2 years. Once he's-
But didn't he say he doesn't want to have that type of role? Maybe I'm just talking out of my ass, but I could have swore that was a thing.
Nah, he just said.
I genuinely don't think he cares.
Yeah, he just wants to win. He said it's just about winning. So whatever helps him win, it doesn't really matter.
So we know that the Warriors now have this new death lineup. It has like a 204 offensive rating with
Oh my god.
Jordan Poole, Steph Curry,
Bro, those
Klay
stats are
Thompson,
insane.
Andrew Wiggins, and Draymond Green. I'm gonna name you guys some new nicknames for this death lineup and let me know what you guys think of it. Death Pool,
It's too based on Jordan Poole.
Golden Boys,
Tough.
No, because I don't
Because
want
it's
to. I don't
Golden
want to
Girls.
sound.
It's Golden Girls. You
know what? Never mind.
Smart.
I'm not even gonna say anything.
Smart.
Why not
Fancy-
just do the thing that everybody's doing? The
DEFCON 5.
PTSD.
Oh, yeah, okay.
See what?
PTSD.
PTSD.
No, but that's 4 of them. Don't leave
Wiggins,
Wiggs
come
out.
on.
Don't
Why we
leave
not?
Wiggs-
Come
Don't
on.
leave Wiggs
Wiggins
out.
is a come
I
on.
can't leave
Come
Wiggs
on,
out,
though.
bro. I'm sorry.
He's a backup
I
dancer.
can't leave
Come on,
Wiggs.
though.
I can't leave Wiggs.
You
I'm sorry.
can. You can.
Fantastic Five.
Cheesy.
Nah, listen.
DEFCON 5 is the best one.
DEFCON 5 is
DEFCON
the
5 is
toughest
tough.
one.
That's
It's the
tough.
toughest
That's tough.
one.
DEFCON 5.
I saw one that was a pool party.
But that's the thing is it's too Jordan Poole based. Like when Poole's going off, it's a pool party. That's cool. But talking about all 5 of them, it's either DEFCON 5 or like he said, PTSD, but you can't leave out Wiggins.
Steve Kirby.
You can. You can leave out Wiggins,
Stop.
dog.
Low,
You can't.
stop.
Nah, you
Stop.
can't.
Stop.
You can't.
Yes, you can.
No, you
They're
can't.
gonna leave out Wiggins in 2 years anyway.
Listen, you're talking about all-star Andrew Wiggins.
Starter.
They're gonna leave out Andrew Wiggins. Come on, dog.
When they do the documentary, if they win, Andrew Wiggins never played for them.
I'm telling y'all, bro. Steve Kirby tricking y'all in the regular season, man.
He's
Y'all.
different?
He be having y'all think they bad.
He's
When in
mid?
reality, they just nice, bro.
Can you
Tell
stop, bro? This is their first year back. Really,
Bro, he
leaving a
plays
mark.
11 minutes with that lineup, bro. He's tricking y'all. He's playing with y'all. Man. I'm telling you, watching against Memphis, they're gonna play like 50 minutes. Watch.
What about Warrangers?
The what?
What?
Like Avengers, but like with war in the
Oh
front.
my God! Throw it away. Throw it. It's
Nah, that's trash. Nah, that's trash.
See, as soon as I came up with something original, I knew it wasn't gonna hit. But I was like, "Fuck it, we gonna ride regardless."
Yo, that's a war. in
Golden
tricks.
Boys. I don't hate.
That one's weird. to
PTSD
me.
is great.
PTSD is tough.
PTSD is like
DEFCON
crazy
5, PTSD, no doubt.
They have a new name every damn year. It's sick. Hampton 5.
Hampton 5 is goated. Hampton 5 is goated.
Yo, I'm pushing that agenda, by the way. Just letting y'all know.
Let me hear it.
KD and Kyrie ain't shit without Steph and LeBron. I'm pushing that all.
And listen,
all time
Hey,
there.
hey, I'm gonna dap you up through the screen, my boy. 'Cause I'm gonna tell you right now.
Come on.
I'm
ready
pushing that
for
narrative
agenda.
very
I'm
strong.
ready for it, bro.
I'm pushing that
Come
narrative.
on now. That's
Go
such
Steph all
facts.
day.
I'm ready for that agenda, dog.
We
The
push-
amount of people who saying that they were acting as if like KD made Steph's career was nasty, bro. I was like, bro, y'all got it
Other way
backwards,
around.
bro.
Yeah,
Steph
if-
Curry
if-
made KD's.
If Brooklyn does not come out the first round, that narrative, I'm gonna post it every week.
It's gonna be nasty. It's gonna be nasty.
And I have a friend like my boy KD fan. Yeah, I'm gonna troll him every day.
Yeah. Let me know what's that. I'll get in on that.
Before we get on to the next segments, a quick word from DraftKings. The NBA playoffs means next level basketball. Get in on the first round action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. This week, new customers can bet $5 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets instantly. You win no matter what. All DraftKings Sportsbook customers can also bet on NBA hoops with same-game parlays. Combine multiple bets from the same game for a bigger payout. The more legs you add, the more money you can win. Plus, each day of the first round, get a risk-free bet up to $10 if your same-game parlay doesn't hit. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code TBPN. Bet $5 on any NBA team to win their game during the first round of the playoffs and get $150 in free bets instantly. That's promo code TBPN at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Now, on to this week in the NBA. Just recent news about some injuries. Chris Middleton, like you mentioned, Lo, expected to miss 3 to 4 weeks with an MCL sprain. I actually do think Chicago can give the Bucks a run for their money without Chris Middleton now. I think instead of this being a 5-game series or even sweep as I originally predicted, it's going to probably go to 6, and I wouldn't be surprised if it does go to 7.
Now, this week in the NBA, we got to give credit where credit is due to Mr. Joel Embiid for hitting not a buzzer beater, a game-winning 3, buzzer beater when the shot clock runs out, hitting a turnaround fadeaway 3 to put the team up in overtime against Toronto to give them a 3-0 lead. Now, it begs the question, is he putting together a more impressive season than Jokic, given the fact that his team is dominating in the playoffs, and we're looking at Jokic where his play is deteriorated and his team is getting dominated on the other side?
For me,
The Raptors. What?
But the Raptors...
What the hell?
No, you
Playing
can...
the Raptors versus the Warriors. What are we talking right now?
No, for sure. But at the same time, Joel Embiid has been dominant. And regardless of that fact, however you want to put it, the Raptors defensively were supposed to be a solid
I'm glad
unit.
you brought up the Raptors because I just want to say this real quick to the Raptors fans.
Don't get rude because you were the
No,
only one
hold
that
on,
you
hold on,
had.
hold on. You Raptors fans are weird. And it's a whole country, and I've noticed that about you guys. I picked you guys to make the playoffs, right? And then towards the back end of the year, I said, I don't think you guys can beat Philly. You literally went into our comment section and you called me an idiot. A lot of you called me an idiot, said I don't know what I'm talking about, said this, that, and the third. Now you're down 3-0, and you guys are terrible. And I just want you to know I'm never rooting for you guys ever again. I will want you to fail for the rest of my life. Because you're disrespecting me in ways I don't even understand why. And you really thought you were going to win. Now
You
you're
saw
down
the
3-0.
comment? You posted a comment they said about
Yeah,
you.
they just talk about working McDonald's. Now look at you guys watching your team suck.
I'll tell you what, that was crazy. And I understand wholeheartedly why you're going
And I'm
going to
take a W.
Yeah, no,
Hell,
for sure.
ratio.
But we can but we can be real. If Pascal or Fred play a quarter
Fred
better.
VanVleet is getting outplayed by a 21-year-old.
Yo, you're not kidding. You're not kidding.
He is.
On somebody this week in the NBA. Ben Gordon, Michael Jordan, Derrick Rose. All Chicago Bulls players that's had 40 on the road. A young man, he joined the rankings yesterday, DeMar DeRozan. He put on a master
Young
class.
man?
Yeah, he is old, right? Like 31. An old man, a veteran seasoned man. He
Respect. Hey,
he put on a master class in Milwaukee. Energy was lit. Game was fire. Bucks was making a comeback. All he wanted to do was just get Giannis in the switch. Everything after that was money.
Barbecue
Mid-range
chicken.
The
barbecue chicken.
DPOY.
Mr. DPOI, the guy the self-proclaimed best two-way player in the league. Just want to let y'all know Kawhi would have never let that happen.
Oh my
But that's not
God.
here nor
Can
there.
you stop it?
He wouldn't have. But that's not
Can
here
you
nor
stop
there.
it?
Shout out to DeMar though. That was a great game. He put the team on his back. 1-1. Vooch has been playing good. Maybe I don't want him to get traded.
Yo, Vooch has
Maybe he
been
looks,
playing very
you know what
well
I'm
these
saying?
last 2 games.
We're going back home. United Center has been one of the best arenas all year. It's gonna get lit, so it's gonna be loud.
Who's the best two-way player in the NBA?
Kawhi, when healthy.
Giannis.
Kawhi.
Is it not Tatum now?
What? Stop. Please stop. It's Giannis.
Yo,
It's Giannis.
listen, low.
It's Giannis.
Here we go.
It's Giannis.
He is on to something.
He's not.
He's on
No,
to
he's
something.
not.
Yes, he is, because we never doubted Tatum's offensive abilities. Now
He's a better offensive player than Giannis. Tatum is.
No, he's not.
Yes,
Oh,
he is.
yes, he is.
Jason Tatum's
yes,
a better
he
offensive
is.
player than Giannis.
Yes, he
Why are
is.
we like
No,
ignoring
he's
Kawhi?
not.
I don't like that.
Stop.
Kawhi
Until he
doesn't
gets
play
healthy,
the
is
same
not-
level of
is
defense
not
as he used to.
in this conversation.
Even, but it's because my thing with Kawhi is, when you say who's the best, I feel like you're talking about at their best. When it's time to really do that, who can do it? And I think that's Kawhi easily. When it's playoff time, at his best, when it's time, when you tell Kawhi, I need you to get into that mode, he's the best defender.
I'm not
In this
waiting
era.
for Kawhi.
I was about to say, you know what? You're being very critical on Zion, who's younger than Kawhi, but
He has a ring, he has 2 rings.
okay, yes, but he's
Whatever
also
you're
getting.
gonna say
he's
doesn't
get-
matter.
He's
He has 2
getting.
rings.
He's getting older. He's missed a full season. Now,
He has
are
2
you as
rings.
confident
I'm
for him to come back and
I'm
be
1,000.
Kawhi Leonard?
I'm 1,000% confident.
See, but then
And the way Jason
I
Tatum
don't
has
like
been
this.
locking up Kevin Durant,
Come on.
I don't
Come
have
on.
it. I
I
haven't
feel like
He's
we need to
talking.
see more
It's not.
consistency.
No,
he's
it's
talking.
not.
He's
He's
talking.
He's
low.
blocked him multiple
Yes,
times.
yes.
We need to see consistency. 2 games don't tell me you the best 2-way player in the league.
He showed it all
he's not
season.
He's not the
half
main
a season.
reason why they're playing team defense on KD. It's not.
No,
it's
you're
just
right. You're right.
Jason
But
Tatum.
he's had
locking him up.
individual possessions where you're like, Kevin Durant can't do anything.
Multiple.
I agree.
But
and-
so
and-
has Al Horford though. Like, what are we saying right now?
But Al
KD
Horford
can't get
is
by.
solid. Yes, KD's been bad. No doubt about it. But we still have to give credit where credit is due to Jason Tatum. And yes, Al Horford for that matter of fact as well. But we can't ignore that. Yes, even still that Tatum struggled offensively last night. When it mattered most, Tatum came to play and was clutch for them down the
If
stretch.
Al Horford had Tatum's offensive game, he might be the best two-way player.
Wait, so can Embiid?
Okay, all right.
Can Embiid be the best two-way player in the league?
No, he doesn't play defense at the level that we talking about, man.
But he's a better offensive player than Giannis. I think so.
Bro, why are y'all saying this? Y'all just speaking right now.
What's wrong with you?
No.
No.
I mean, what does Giannis do better than Embiid except score in the paint?
You can't answer that because it's nothing.
Pass.
No, pass. Yeah, he does pass better.
I tell you,
Way
you're right.
better.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
But Tatum has-
Tatum is a very underrated passer.
He's
But is
improved.
he
his
better than
playmaking.
Giannis?
It's not far
It's a
off.
conversation.
Paul George.
Not really.
It's a conversation.
Not really. No.
Nah, it's
Yo.
an offensive. You want to talk about scoring? Who's a better scorer?
Hey, who's a more versatile scorer? Tatum. Who's a more productive scorer? Is Giannis.
That's like because it's tough. It really is a like you're shutting it down, and I understand.
it's not a
Really,
com- no,
because of
it's-
the defense, though.
It's not a conversation.
Tatum,
It's not a conversation with Tatum for me. It's not a
Tatum,
conversation.
no,
Not
it's
yet.
not.
Not yet.
It's not a
Not yet.
conversation with Tatum. Tatum
He's-
he
but-
has not shown enough defensively.
He doesn't have enough.
He said,
doesn't
"Is
have
it getting
enough
to is it
catalog.
getting to the which is fine? Yes. Listen,
yet.
I'm saying Giannis, but it is not crazy to at least project that
is-
Tatum
he's
is
not
on that way.
projecting.
Are you saying
project.
right now?
He's saying right now.
Right now is definitely close. And
See?
No, it's
not
I'm
close.
I don't disagree.
It's not.
Him and
I'm
Giannis,
taking Giannis.
It's not close.
I'm taking-
Giannis
not
has a
close.
sizable gap on defense.
Yes.
Like a
Yes,
full
of course.
book
Correct.
gap.
Correct.
It's not
Correct.
close.
But
Like, not at
Tatum
all.
was the best wing defender this season.
fair.
For regardless, you want to
It's
say
been-
from the second
That
half?
was
No,
Mikal Bridges.
no.
I'm about to say, what are you saying? What are y'all saying?
Statistically, he was the best wing defender.
What for
There's
half?
no
for
such
half
thing-
since
bro.
All Star break.
wait, what stats though?
There was his plus minus was better.
That's a team
His
stat, though.
defensive
That's a
rating was
team-
better.
That's also a team number.
I understand that, but you can
You're
still
talking about half a year.
You can.
You're talking
no,
about half a
but
year.
it took account. Listen,
It took half
so
a
in
year.
half a year he became the best.
Yes.
Bro,
Because his
in half
team
a-
became number
Bro,
one.
in half
Yes,
a year,
but-
he got those defensive rating numbers because
Yes,
he's
his-
always on the
his
court with
defense-
Marcus Smart,
yeah.
Robert Williams.
No one's taking
Jaylen
that.
Brown.
No one's taking that away from him.
No,
But
Bridges
even
has
still,
been the best
you
wing
can
defender.
use your eyes and still see that Jason Tatum's an excellent defender.
But Bridges has
No,
been the
but
best
yeah,
wing
He's the
Mikal
defender.
best.
Bridges
He
has
said
been
the
the
best
best.
wing defender.
Bridges has been the best wing defender.
He's not the best wing defender. He's just,
I
not
wouldn't.
there.
I wouldn't even say he's better than Herb Jones this season as a wing defender.
That's tough. That's tough.
He's just not. He's just not. Tatum's not.
Tatum is
He's
a great defender.
he's an improved defender.
Tatum is a great
Look,
defender.
I understand that Giannis averages more than Tatum.
Tatum should be an All NBA defensive.
I can probably name a few more.
Man, you're dragging.
You're
it
taking
right
you're
now.
taking Mikal Bridges at first team for sure, and Tatum could be second
Giannis.
team. But Giannis is probably going to be first.
Okay,
team.
are you first?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Giannis
second
can be
team,
first
that's
team.
possible. You're right. You're
Well,
right.
then Rob Williams will be second team.
He should be.
They both
He should
could
be at
possibly.
minimum on one, the first or the second team.
So you're telling me Tatum over Jaylen Brown on that defensive team?
Yeah,
Absolutely. This year.
Tatum this year showed out more than ever on defense.
Man,
I just feel like.
Listen, I'm taking Giannis.
It's-
I'm
the
I'm with
conversation-
you.
the
Look,
conversation-
but let's not shit on
defensively. Giannis
Tatum.
is better than Tatum, but
Yeah,
it's a gap.
Offensively, even though Giannis averages more than Tatum, bro, I think Tatum's a better offensive player.
oh man, there it is. I love it.
It's the bag Twitter. That's what we're talking about right now.
The bag Twitter. I love it, man.
The bad
Yo,
Twitter.
Jason
That's all.
Tatum,
Ball don't
is-
stop.
I-
Twitter.
Ball don't stop, man.
I just really, I don't know. Tatum's offensive game, I think.
Listen,
is-
you don't have to tell me. I'm with
I
you.
just think the gap on defense is pretty big.
Fair.
What happened? What happened to Tatum's bag last night?
But when you needed him most, what happened?
he locked down.
Defense,
He
yeah,
logged down defense, and then he hit one of the two biggest shots of the game.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't be down though if he showed up the first two quarters.
But when you need him most, let's not slander him, but not also acknowledge at the same time that sure he was bad, but when you needed him most, he came through.
How many seasons has Tatum been great defensively?
Great? One.
Great
How many
this
seasons
year.
has
This year.
Giannis been great defensively?
Probably
At like 5.
since his
Oh,
most
okay.
improved.
Conversation dead.
Yeah, listen, yes. Again, I agree with y'all, but let's not scoff at Tatum.
I will scoff at that
I'm gonna
conversation.
scoff at him
No.
if you
It's
compare
not
him
early.
to Giannis.
It's too early.
Because the defense is fine. I'm fine with you saying defensively Giannis, but when we talk about offense, I can't be here for a
I
scoffing
mean,
on
it's
offense.
two-way.
For sure, but even
It's a
still,
combination of both.
But we're not
if
talking
one guy
about
has
Tatum
a
like
sizable gap.
but again, we're
on
not
the other
talking about
side.
Tatum like he's a cone. We're still talking about Tatum. He's a great defender.
Giannis is
There's still a gap
elite-
between Tatum and Giannis defensively. There's not
Honestly,
a gap between
let's
Tatum
be realistic.
and Giannis
Tatum is
offensively.
only honestly a better perimeter defender than Giannis. Everything else, Giannis clears, and he will clear for the rest of their careers, like everything else.
So interior defense, you're
Giannis-
taking Giannis, which obviously anyone with eyes, you do that. But the game where it has evolved now to a perimeter game, you want Tatum, correct?
I think Tatum's
So
a
you
better
want the
perimeter
more important part of defense now in Jason Tatum, correct?
That's not. You
In
can't look-
2022, you want the more important part of defense in Jason Tatum. Is that what you're telling
I
me?
wouldn't say that because it depends on the team. For the Bucks, the most important is rim protecting.
More important in 2022. Rim protecting is more important than perimeter defense.
It depends on the team.
But let's look at every team that's going to be a contender right now. Your guys' squad. Do you want Giannis playing defense or do you want Tatum, who's a better perimeter defender?
Well, who's
we
his
have
team?
Draymond.
I'm talking on what does that have to do with defense? My point
You
being,
said, would I want Giannis or would I want
against the Warriors.
Tatum? So,
Against the Warriors.
so like I'm the
Yes, you right now. If you're Milwaukee, what sounds better for you? The great perimeter defender in Jason Tatum, or interior defense in Giannis?
Giannis still sounds better.
Giannis. I have Drew Holiday, bro.
Even though we're talking about 2022, where
Giannis.
Drew
Giannis.
Holiday, fine. So now you're bringing
But
in the
That's why I
Bucks.
said it depends.
Fine.
The problem what you're saying though is that Giannis can also defend in space while still being an excellent rim protector. That can't be said about
Man to man
Tatum.
could be easily broken
Tatum
with a
can't
couple
be-
screens.
Tatum is not an excellent rim protector.
No,
Like-
of course, no. Especially when
Man to
we're
man could be
talking about-
easily devoided with just a couple screens here and there, a couple pin downs and all that, and then switch, boom, that's it.
Giannis is a better. He's the best two-way. I don't know why we're having this conversation.
It's a conversation that I'm not ready to hear a scoff at. And I took this argument over for Joel, and I'm sure that he's grateful for it. But listen, he's not too far off.
Kevin Durant doesn't have a left hand, and he can't blow by Al Horford.
See,
this is not
you know
moving
what?
me
But this is not an
enough to
agenda
get
that
me
I
to
want to
the-
hear when all season I've heard, and not from you, Lo. I'm just talking specifically from
Yeah, no, I hear you. I trust me. I hear
that
you.
Kevin Durant's the greatest scorer since, or he's the greatest thing
I
since
hear
sliced
you.
bread. I don't want to hear it.
I hear that.
Come on, stop it.
I've never said Kevin Durant's the greatest scorer. Never said he's the
So-
greatest
You said
scorer.
that he's the best player in the NBA with your chest. How many times?
Best
Come
player.
on.
I've never
You
said
said
he's-
that?
I did say that. I did say
both
that.
of them.
I did
The
say
Bro,
that.
it's
both of
crazy
them.
But I never
takes.
said he was the
And I have to
greatest
sit at this
scorer.
table and I have to look like the crazy one.
You said LeBron was the best.
Okay, and I said
Whoa,
Giannis.
We were both wrong.
And I said
That's-
Giannis.
so
Nah,
we're
but I
friends.
said Giannis
No, you
was the
said it was
best.
LeBron.
But
you said it was LeBron.
But after, all right,
All right.
but then
so
I
we were
said
both
Giannis.
wrong. But I never said anything after that. I don't change who's the best in the middle of the season. I like to see it at the end.
So
we
I
both
went
in the
into the
preseason.
season-
In the beginning,
I went
you
into
went
the
with
season,
LeBron.
yes.
I went with Kevin Durant. We're both wrong. So you throwing that in my face when we
I
were
said
both wrong.
Giannis.
Y'all
both
both look
wrong.
All right, Lo, there you go. Look, Lo ultimately is the
yeah,
winner
so-
here.
I'm right, man. I'm right,
Congratulations.
man.
Fine.
We might still be
I'm
wrong
picking
too.
two old geezers, one of which ain't got a left hand, man. It's crazy, dog.
LeBron, who's averaging 30 points. And
Yeah, he was stat padding at the
Kevin
end.
Durant averaged like 30.
come
off
on,
the
you're a
ACL.
Laker fan. You can't trash talk LeBron
I know, and I
James.
watched it. He was stat padding.
He was,
games. It
but you know what?
disgusting.
We don't
It
talk
was
about
disgusting.
that, all right? Because we
was
love
nasty,
LeBron, all right? We can't.
I
he
don't
was
love
stat
LeBron.
padding.
He's cool.
What? Come
So,
on.
I'm guessing
Nah.
you think Giannis is the best player. So, was he your MVP this year?
Yeah, he actually was.
Okay.
Yeah, he actually
sure.
was.
You lost that one.
Who knows?
Yeah, it looked like Jokic.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
it's
probably
all
going to be Jokic, but
yeah.
who knows until it actually comes out.
Jokic probably going to be the MVP right now. We know the Warriors are blowing the brakes off of the Nuggets. Do you think that he's being unfairly blamed for the Nuggets' playoff struggles thus far? Because there's been a lot of slander thrown Jokic's way, and I'll throw it over to you, Lo. What do you think about this?
I think there's a community in the NBA. I think there's a subsection in the NBA community who's just ready to slander Jokic because I think a lot of people got upset at like the case being made for him to be MVP, and they thought it should have went to Embiid for whatever reason. I don't really understand that logic, but when people were making that argument, it were acting as if like everybody was just making the argument Jokic should be MVP just because of calculators and stuff like that. So then when they go into the playoffs, it's like, bro, how is it that the calculators are losing this bad to the Warriors? And it's like it's not really his fault. Like, yo, he's playing against the Warriors are a top 3 team in the entire league. Like just in terms of when they're healthy, at
Very
worst,
fair to
they are
say.
top 3. So for you to lose to them in the manner in which he's losing to them when Bones Highland or Aaron Gordon is your second best player, that's not that crazy. It's just not that crazy. So they're slandering him. I get some of the slander. I just wish that if we're gonna keep that type of energy for him, then we gotta really get KD out of here. But we just gotta keep.
What do you want, KD?
No, I love this. I love him. I love it. I love it.
Yo, what's this?
I love it.
KD?
Why
No, it's not. It's not towards KD. It's just the people who are arguing like KD's the best. Why? Oh, because he has a bag. Dribble has he tween. And now all of a sudden we learn that he don't even have a left hand and he can't blow by Al Horford. And it's like, all right, then like how is that the argument that was being made for an entire year? He's the best. Why? Because his foot was on the line. Like that was literally the argument. For
I did hate that.
What I'm getting, the vibe I'm getting off you is that, you know, and I got this off from when we had the Tatum and Giannis thing, especially offensively.
He hates ball, don't stop.
Although Tatum, you know, has a prettier game, you are more about production. You're more about, I don't care about how you do it as long as you're scoring. I care about that production. So what are your thoughts when people say Kevin Durant is the best scorer ever because, you know, he just scores prettier than guys like Kobe or Jordan or other names that I'm not mentioning right now?
I call it cap because even if hypothetically speaking, we were to say, like, let's just run with that line of logic. Kevin Durant has never really been able to prove consistently in a postseason setting that he can be that player unless he has like the greatest level of floor spacing and player movement around him with the Warriors. Like go back and go look at OKC. His shooting splits across the board dropped. He was shooting like 50, 40, 90 in the playoffs. Now he's shooting 45, 33, like 80 something. Like he wasn't the same player in the playoffs. Then he also complained about it on his burner. I need more skill guys. I need more floor spacing. He complained about it. And then now here we are. He's playing with Bruce Brown and Andre Drummond, and it's the same thing. So it's like, how can you even make the argument that you're the greatest scorer when if you don't have proper floor spacing, this is what you look like? Like Kobe and Jordan didn't have great floor spacing, but they were still able to score at will because they just figured it out. They had a much tighter handle. They were actually just more all around skilled at scoring than KD was. But because you think that this is what Kevin Durant is, Kevin Durant has always had a weak left hand. Kobe even said it himself. Kevin Durant has always had a weak left hand. It's just that when you're on a team where Clay's in this corner, Curry's at the top, Draymond's cutting to the basket, the elbow, handling the ball, and then you have another shooter or Iguodala over on the other side of the corner, and it's like spaced out for you. You can be as loose as you want with the ball and get to the basket or score at will. But that's it. Even if you're watching them play, bro. Now, in long story short, no. If it's more about production, and LeBron's production, especially in the playoffs, is greater than Kevin Durant's in their careers
by far.
Jordan and Kobe's production is just greater as well. I've seen this happen from Kevin Durant too often for me to claim that he's the greatest scorer of all time.
What players do you believe are better scorers than Kevin Durant? I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but what players do you think are better scorers than Kevin Durant that I guess the NBA community wouldn't agree with you with?
Like right now or all time?
All time, right now, you can do both.
So the three I just named, I think LeBron would probably be the one that people would like pause and be like, how is he
probably,
a greater scorer? Yeah, LeBron is the one where it's like undeniably he's a greater scorer than KD.
Love it.
Like not even I don't even think like it's remotely close. And I think if anything, LeBron probably gets a lot of slack in this conversation because he don't put the ball between his legs as pretty as Kevin Durant does. Like that's basically it. That's basically the argument what people have to say. But the reality is, like, bro, LeBron, especially at his peak, was shooting 40% from three, not only in the regular season, but also series and runs in the postseason as well. LeBron's getting to the basket at will. And when LeBron needed to make mid-range jumpers, he was able to do that as well. LeBron is just a better scorer, not only production-wise, efficiency-wise, regular season, postseason. He's just a better scorer than Kevin Durant.
How about Giannis?
Right now, I would say yes, especially if you're telling me that because you're in a series where people are a bit lengthier and you all of a sudden can't score now. All of a sudden, that's a problem now. I guess that's the case too. Because as bad as Giannis may have been in some of the series in his career, especially when he was playing with Eric Bledsoe, bro, he's never looked this bad. I've never seen Giannis look this bad. Giannis has never had games where he shot 0 for 10 in an entire half. I've never seen that before. So yeah. I would even argue right now Giannis is.
Yeah, that's a good point. And onto this Jokic thing, I do think
Y'all
he's
trying to get
being,
me out of here, man. Trying to get me out of here, man.
Nah, get out of here. You're saying facts. Listen, you're talking to the right person here. I 100% am with you. People have overlooked LeBron's scoring abilities. I'm looking across my table right now because he's, especially what you said, he doesn't put the ball through his legs. How many times have you sat here and told me that LeBron doesn't have a bag? How many times have you played that into a factor of him not being one of the best scorers of all time? So that's why when you say that, it automatically clicked with me. I'm like, man, I've heard that once or twice in my lifetime.
Are we all in agreement that Steph Curry's an undoubtedly better scorer than Kevin Durant too, though?
I think he is too.
Yeah.
I think he's the most dangerous offensive player in NBA
undoubtedly
history.
I can't say undoubtedly, but I think that yes, I agree. I agree to for his size, for what for what he allows to happen on the court. No doubt, I'm with you.
Yeah.
No, it's undoubtedly.
I think Curry undoubtedly. Yeah.
Undoubtedly, it's crazy. It's just
but the reason why
6'11", the ball handle abilities, the
he can't
agility.
go left.
He.
You keep saying ball handle, he doesn't have a left hand.
Yes, but still, his ability to shoot over the top of legitimately anyone.
He's missing
Steph
shots
can shoot over anybody
right
too.
now.
We're talking about 2022. Yes,
But Steph can shoot over anybody too.
But we're talking about a whole.
It don't matter. Like Steph can shoot over anybody.
He does have the most unique form of all time. Which,
he's letting that boy go up. Like,
he is. He's
the most dangerous offensive player ever.
Listen, I'm going Curry, but I'm not saying it as smoothly as y'all.
I just like how you threw me under the bus. So now
because I had to. How many times have you done that to me?
I just want to let you know.
How many times have you done that to me?
An hour into the show, you're done. It's gonna get bad for you. Just gonna let you know.
And I'll say this too before we wrap. Another reason why it's Curry, and I think the problem we have with scoring is that everybody looks at it through like this one vacuum of how to score the basketball.
Ball don't stop.
Off ball, Curry is easily, not even close, the greatest off ball scorer ever.
Easily.
Ever.
Easily.
But that doesn't come into anybody's function. If you watch Kevin Durant score when he's off the ball, especially outside of his years with the Warriors, where he's just standing still. All of that comes into should be in the conversation of what do you bring to the table in terms of your versatility scoring wise. But everybody wants to talk about when the ball is in your hand, and there's so many more ways to score the basketball. And Durant just doesn't do those things. He don't have a left.
Is Kyrie Irving a better scorer than Kevin Durant?
Kyrie's tough. I got to see more postseason Kyrie before I come to that conclusion.
Okay.
Like post without LeBron. Without LeBron.
The point you made was right, because that's the argument people often use for Kyrie being the most skilled player of all time.
Which is why I brought his name up.
But I don't think he's more skilled than Steph.
No, but that's why I'm talking solely about scoring the basketball too.
Yeah. But this Jokic thing, I was reading a great article earlier on today about how the MVP is a burden because you now get these like crazy expectations on you, which you should. I mean, you're the MVP. Oh, your head is on fire. Oh my!
I had to do that, bro. I was holding it for like an hour, bro. Yo, I had to get to that.
The thing is, the problem with Jokic is going through this right now. The problem with carrying bad teams to the playoffs is that, and then winning the MVP, is that once you get into the playoffs and you face a superior team that can now game plan and scheme for you, it looks a lot like this. This is probably the most egregious example ever what's happening with Jokic right now, because the Nuggets, just top to bottom, don't have a very good team. But you even look at when Giannis won back-to-back MVPs, and I know he didn't carry the Bucks because that was a well-rounded team. But even when he won the MVP, there was a lot of slander thrown his way when he didn't meet expectations in the playoffs, especially. And he lost to Toronto, then lost to Miami in the bubble, and then Westbrook too. But we kind of knew it was going to happen with Westbrook in 2017 when they faced the Rockets and they lost. So it's kind of more of a burden when you do win MVP, and now you do all this work in the regular season. You carry this team. If you don't make the playoffs, you get slandered for not lifting a team. But then you lift the team, and you still get slandered because you now face a superior team that now exposes a lot of your team's weaknesses as a whole, which for the Nuggets is defenders because they don't have any outside of Aaron Gordon.
LeBron didn't win MVP that 2018 season, but this is the only way I can compare with what you're trying to say, which is 100% facts. LeBron went against a superior team in that 2018 team, a 2018 season Warriors team, and he got swept, and people threw his name under the rug. But you want to talk about carrying a team that had no business being in that position? LeBron took a bunch of guys that were barely great or solid role players and somehow, some way got them to the championship. Jokic has the unfortunate situation of now this is a first round matchup. This is now 2 years in a row where last season you give him some credit because he did it with a lot of injuries and got past that first round Blazers team that a lot of people had the Blazers winning that series. And Jokic with the Nuggets team it's not the same as this year, obviously, as you have additions with Bones and other ball players of that sort. But last year you still had MPJ and you still got past. This year it's legitimately Jokic and nobody else. Now you have to at least acknowledge, hey, what is he supposed to do when we're sitting here at this table talking about this team, the Golden State Warriors being unstoppable, walking through the West, no problem. Of course, I definitely, I don't want to say sympathize because he's in the NBA, he's going to win MVP, he's got all these great things happening for him, but it's unfortunate that his name is going to get a little bit tarnished for the fact that now he's a two-time MVP, potentially two-time MVP. It's most likely he's going to win the MVP this season. And you have one playoff series win to show for it.
I hate to be this guy. I really do hate to be this guy.
You're about to throw his name under the rug too?
I wouldn't say that. I would say he's about to win his second MVP. He's carried Denver to the playoffs, incredible. It's awesome. We've seen great players do it. LeBron. For sure. We've seen D-Wade in 08 carry a pretty shitty team. We've seen MJ do it. We've seen Kobe do it. We've seen all the greats do it, I guess you could see where this is going.
Jokic isn't a great?
No, that's not a problem. He's a great. He's what we consider him a top 5, top 4 player in the NBA.
Right now, top 3. I mean, MVP
okay, great. I'm glad you help me out even more.
I say top 5. Top 3.
Wait, who's
this is gonna get bad for him? I'll just be honest with you. We consider him a top 3 player in the NBA. You should not go out this bad. I'm sorry. There is no way you should go out this bad. The team can lose, fine. Yes, okay. Your team isn't good enough. That's fine. But you should not be getting frustrated mid-game. You're the leader. The way he's been frustrated, the way he's been panting, the way he's been acting like a child, it's not giving leader vibes. And he hasn't been playing great. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as a leader, walking in MVP, you have to at least put on those performances. And I don't want to. I'm not gonna say I'm slandering him. I don't think he deserves slander. Like, oh, he sucks. He shouldn't have won MVP. But it comes a point where it's like, you have to play better. You have to at least be great. Like, you yourself have to be great. We expect great things from great players. We may not always expect you to win, but we expect you to be great. And this goes into my, I wanted to ask a question. He's probably going to get blown out these next 2 games, right? And if he doesn't, he's going to lose. 4-game sweep. Last year, he beat Portland, undermanned. Then he got swept by the Suns, right? The Suns are going to be here next year, probably. Memphis on the rise. Your boys over there in Minnesota, they're still young. They're around. The Pelicans, if Zion play, we just said it, they could potentially be up there. The Clippers will be back next year. How far does a trio of the Joker, Jamal Murray, and Michael Porter Jr. take you in this loaded West?
I mean, we saw them
go
to
the conference finals.
Yeah, but we're 2 years removed from that. I feel like the West has gotten better.
It has.
But one of the teams that you just named, they beat to get to the conference finals.
I don't think it's not the same team, though. It's not the same team.
It's not the same team.
It's not the same team. It's not the same coach.
But you can argue that MPJ is not the same player because he's improved if he's 100% healthy.
I don't know. I need to see that. I need to see that.
We gotta wait and see on that one.
I need to see that.
Coming
Jamal
from
Murray,
a back injury is tough.
If you would have said Jamal Murray, I'm with you. Jamal Murray is a solid player, especially in the playoffs. To go to MPJ immediately.
Well, no, because they beat the Clippers without even MPJ on the team at all, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he was on the team.
So
he didn't play many minutes.
He didn't play many minutes.
I'm gonna say if he was on the team, he just wasn't playing many minutes at all. So the point I'm making was that MPJ on the roster now is going to be a little bit different from what they had before. And on top of it, I think some of the players like Aaron Gordon is now on the team as well. He wasn't on there back then. Bones Highlands is going to continue to improve. I understand what you're saying. That team is kind of put in a situation to where they have a lot of needs and they've already put a lot of money towards just offense, and they don't really have
any defense.
They have a lot of defensive concerns as well. It is tough. But I still think they're fine. Like I think if 100% healthy.
Well, do you think? Because
not to Minnesota, they're not.
Yeah,
it's Minnesota.
I'm just Edwards though.
I'm just naming like teams in the West. But do you think Jamal Murray and MPJ really changed that Phoenix series?
It's not like Karl Anthony Towns is a scrub, but I'm sorry, Riff, to cut you off.
Do you think Jamal Murray and MPJ really changes this series or a Phoenix series, which they're getting embarrassed in?
From what we've seen out of this series, no, and just because they just match up really bad. Like the matchup is just horrible. But against other teams in the NBA, like the problem with the Clippers and why they couldn't beat them is because they didn't have any penetration at all. Like Kawhi and PG wasn't able to like really get to the basket as often as a Jordan Poole or Curry is able to. It definitely take advantage of a mismatch of Jokic. Like that was their biggest problem, and they actually went out to go seek some of those things as well as the years progressed. The problem though is that it's like Jamal Murray in the playoffs was tough. I don't like that caliber of player is crazy. Granted, it's the bubble, so we can definitely kind of hold back on that.
Wait and see.
The MPJ conversation is definitely there because the back injury is kind of scary. But the long story short, I really only think there's only like 2, maybe 3 teams in the West that is like noticeably better than the Nuggets. Like when you can sit here and say confidently, everybody else, no.
That's tough to say when we're sitting here, and yes, we're talking about a team that doesn't have Jamal, that doesn't have MPJ, but we're sitting here and we're discussing that the Nuggets might be the worst team in the playoffs.
I didn't say that. They're better than Atlanta. I'm gonna be honest.
No, but I'm talking a low.
They're better than Atlanta.
I'm saying specifically. We're looking at this Nuggets team that right now, without MPJ, of course, and Jamal Murray, they make a huge difference. But again, we need to see MPJ back in the court.
MPJ was garbage before he actually went down.
He is
playing through his injury though.
He's playing through injury. Look at any team in the NBA and take away their 2 best players.
The Clippers.
Like how good would not the 2. Keep the first, but take away the second and third best player. Like if you look at the I don't want to say the Jazz because the Jazz are just bad, period. But if you look at Atlanta, bro, if you took away Bogey and John Collins or Bogey and Capella, like that team just looks noticeably worse.
Right.
If you took away Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton and just had D-Book out there with everybody else, like would that team not look noticeably worse?
Or even the Warriors, you take away Draymond and Clay and just have Steph and Poole, it looks noticeably worse too.
Yeah, every team would look noticeably worse if you take away their second and third best player.
That looks stinky. Now that you brought that up, that looks terrible.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, I made this take like midway through the year when we saw Jokic carrying the Nuggets that I feel like once we already kind of had the news that Murray probably not going to be back, MPJ probably not going to be back, I know this is like kind of like a loser mentality, but Jokic just hang it up, tank. Nuggets get a top prospect in the draft and add on to your talent. Because I feel like even though I like MPJ a lot, he did average 24 after Murray's injury last season, and I do love Jamal Murray a lot. I just feel like the Nuggets are missing one marquee player, even with those guys, because Murray, his ceiling is an all-star, but you don't know if he can actually be an all-star in the West that's stacked with guards. And MPJ, who the back injury concerns, is just that's a major concern with him, and that's a major question mark.
Only reason I'm sitting here and thinking about it is because I feel like we had a conversation about you telling me that Jamal Murray is one of the best playoff performers in the NBA right now.
He is.
So then what are you concerned about?
They can't guard.
I'm concerned more about
defense is mid.
And Aaron Gordon is not that defender that people think he is.
I'm concerned I'm more concerned about MPJ and his injury history than I am.
I'm with you there.
And I mean we're talking about Jamal Murray off an ACL injury too.
Mm-hmm. But again, modern medicine.
The Timberwolves are up 18 points.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Let's go. Imagine they blow the lead. I'll be so sick.
If the Timberwolves, I'm just letting everybody know now, if the Timberwolves make it out the first round, the Warriors are going to win in 5 games. I'm just going to let you know.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Easy cakewalk.
But this is
also the Grizzlies are pretenders, right?
Yeah, they're done.
Yeah, they are pretenders.
And the easy way to the WCF, we'll wait for your hopeful Phoenix guys to get out there. Hopefully. Yeah,
let's talk about these pretenders, the Utah Jazz. Because in game 2, Jalen Brunson went off for a career night. 41 points, 8 assists, and 5 rebounds. Dinwiddie also had 25. They beat the Mavs 110-104, blew a 10-point lead. The series is now 1-1. Luka won't play in game 3, but we're not sure if he's going to play for game 4 or not. I was under the assumption that if the Jazz would have taken that 2-0 lead and then tonight beat Dallas, we're not seeing Luka in this series just because of the re-injury risk. But the Dallas Mavericks are making it a fight, and they're giving Luka time to come back. And it's time to blow it up, I think. You know, even if the Jazz do end up winning this series, which if Luka comes back, I don't think will happen, I think it's time. And I think it's a combination of all their players, really. You know, I think Rudy Gobert the past like couple of years has been getting slandered the most, when you can argue that he's the one that should be getting slandered the least. But even him, it's like with Mitchell and Gobert, if Mitchell's not on the floor, their offense falls off tremendously. When Gobert's not on the floor, their defense falls off tremendously. There was this stat posted by StatMuse today that this was every player's defensive field goal percentage on the Jazz's starting lineup. Bojan Bogdanovic is allowing 53%. Donovan Mitchell, 52%. Royce O'Neal, 50%. Mike Conley, 47%. And Rudy Gobert is at 32%.
Bro, you had to know.
Jeez.
You had to know.
Game 2. What I saw from game 2, I saw Donovan Mitchell get cooked by Brunson, by Dinwiddie late in the game. Offensively, this is why I'm higher on Gobert's value than Mitchell's, is because I feel like if Gobert actually plays with a A+ level playmaker, he can average like 18 and 14. Maybe he could even touch 20 if he's like with a godlike level playmaker.
If he's with
Off
Luka,
of lobs alone,
if he's with Luka, 18, 14, 18.
I think with Luka, he can average 20 and 15.
He smoked the layup
I will
that
be
day.
honest.
In that game,
Bro, he was horrible offensively.
He smoked the layup, but I see so many times where him and Mitchell are in a pick and roll, and there's an easy lob opportunity, and Mitchell just doesn't pass it.
All he has to do is just dunk it, and Mitchell misses.
So because of that, I'm higher on Rudy Gobert's value, especially because of what he offers defensively. But the Mavs made 17 uncontested three-point shots. Gobert had to help on almost every drive, and they just kept getting open threes. Kleba went 8 for 11 from 3, and it's just nobody can keep a man in front of them. They have done nothing to improve defensively. Instead of drafting Herb Jones, they go and draft Jared Butler. Mike Conley has fallen off tremendously on defense.
He's showing his age,
which is hilarious because he was the best defender on the team on the perimeter.
Nah, Royce O'Neal than him.
Royce O'Neal was at 50%. Conley was at 47.
Oh yeah, you're right. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like it's are you done?
I need to hear Riv. I need to hear him.
Yo, I was watching the game, and it's just like, it's so funny to me. Like, how bad do you have to be? Like there's no way you can be this bad, right? Like, you have a bunch of good players. You're literally a high-powered offense. Like, you have Donovan Mitchell. How bad can you get? I'm sorry. Jalen Brunson's a good player. He really is.
Really good.
I'm sorry. He should not get 41. I'm just like, it is just like, bro, I'm sorry, bro. I don't care. I don't care. He's a good player. He's going to be a starter in this league. He shouldn't be getting 41 like that, bro.
Just go,
I don't care.
into last season and go watch Game 6 when Terrence Mann put up 40 points.
That's my thing.
On the
like,
Jazz.
You're letting people like this get 40 and 38 points, and it's just like, bro, like, it comes a time if Mike Conley's your best perimeter defender, you need help. You need something. Look at Quinn Snyder on the sideline. He looks cooked up. I agree. It's time. Blow it up. Donovan.
Don't disrespect the future Nick like that.
Yeah, no, you're being rude to Jalen.
Brunson's a bucket.
41 is crazy.
41's
to me.
crazy. 41's crazy.
Send Donovan to Miami, New York, Orlando, wherever he wants to go. I think they should keep Rudy though, and maybe build like more wings there. Maybe.
I feel like if you trade one, you have to trade the other.
Really?
You have to blow it up.
Rudy. I feel like Rudy.
I don't know about that.
Rudy
Who's coming to Utah, Lo?
Bro, Rudy getting paid at 38 mil. Nobody's taking that contract.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you have to, if you're going to trade one, you have to trade the other. And
nobody's taking Rudy's 38 mil.
Nobody.
I actually think people are taking Rudy more than.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
I think so too.
I think so too. He fits better on majority of teams.
Well, most teams, yeah.
But
because what team needs D Mitch? What team is in dire need of D Mitch right
Miami.
now? Outside of Knicks.
They don't even really need him though.
Nah, they don't really need him either.
I think they do. I'm not. You know what? We'll get on that later.
Rudy Gobert can help a lot of teams. Like I think
name one.
A lot of teams.
He goes to Dallas. I think
What do
they're
they
a
have to send
finals
them?
contender.
What do they have to send them?
Charlotte.
What do they have to send? He gets $38 million.
Charlotte's not paying anyone.
He's an all-star.
The Mavericks aren't
You're
paying
gonna
anyone.
Have to send,
They can send the
Luka?
Mavericks can send Bertans, Dinwiddie, and picks.
No,
that's not. See, this
I'm
is
not.
where-
I'm just
Please
talking about
stop.
contracts.
No,
I'm
that's what I'm saying.
talking
This is
about
where
contracts.
this.
I'm not saying that's
I know
acceptable
that. I know
deal.
that's not you. Like,
I'm
saying,
just saying those are
but
contracts.
that deal sucks.
Picks are going to have to be involved.
It's not even just the picks. He gets paid $38 million.
Which is why-
Donovan is on a friendly. He's not even on. He's on a friendly 28. You can fix that up. Like, you can send a couple guys for that.
Which is
The
why
problem-
you
it's
can
not-
get Gobert for a lesser price.
No,
Because
but
think
you
about it,
can't.
teams don't want to have to give a player like Rudy Gobert who shows limited capabilities on offense
But
30
it's
mil.
not. It's not about. No, it's
so
about
in a trade, it might be a little bit more willing.
This is my thing. Like, Rudy may be more sold out as a player, But money-wise, I don't think he's going to be more so because he gets paid way more than Mitchell. You hear what he just said. For him to do that, they will have to send Hardaway and Bertans. That's $37 million of damn near nothing that you're sending for Rudy Gobert.
Do you agree it would cost more to trade for Donovan Mitchell than Rudy Gobert?
And picks, yes.
I think it would cost more to trade for Donovan,
yes.
which is why I say Gobert can get traded.
But how, though?
Because it is not going
Name
to
a
cost
team.
like I said, a Charlotte.
Who are they sending?
They could
Gordon
send.
Hayward.
They could,
They have to say yes.
But
Utah has to say yes.
But that's my thing. If you're sending them picks and that's all you're sending them, given the fact that the Jazz probably don't want to pay $30 million,
Mason Plumlee, because he's $8 million, and picks is enough.
Picks, yes, especially for a team that's understanding they're not getting free agents, and you have to bank on the draft, which they have done.
Bank on the draft. Charlotte gets Rudy Gobert. They're a playoff team, at least a play-in team.
Yeah.
So why would they bank on picks that are not going to be in the lottery? It doesn't make sense.
But who knows if Charlotte's a playoff team?
You just told me they were.
But
I'm saying they could.
Anyway, though.
That's
what they're going to get anyway.
It's a
game. It doesn't matter what team that you trade Rudy Gobert to. The draft picks you're going to get from them.
But that's why you have to get somebody. That's why you have to get good players back.
I see what you're saying.
And I feel like with Donovan,
point.
you can get a young, maybe not a young star,
yeah,
but you can get somebody young that you can possibly work around or be like with Rudy Gobert.
Do you really think that though? Because
I
think for Charlotte specifically, you could throw in Gordon and then another contract to fit Gobert and then add in a James Bucknight to that deal.
But I feel like for Donovan, the Knicks and Orlando would send them better young assets than Charlotte for Rudy Gobert.
That's why I said that I think if they trade one, they kind of have to trade both. Because if you trade Donovan Mitchell, you'll get like young players back, but you're not going to be in contention anytime soon. Or in the West, a playoff team. So
True.
I think it's better just to blow it up, rebuild, and kind of get star players.
They have a lot of good players that are gonna get them. Like Jordan Clarkson's maybe worth a first rounder, like late first rounder on the playoff team.
Bogdanovich,
19 mil. You could trade him
Bogdanovich
off.
for sure.
Look, Bogdanovich for Bertans in the first. Look at that. See how easy that was. No, I'm just saying anything at this point.
The problem with D Mitch, because D Mitch also is getting a pretty hefty bag. He's also getting paid over $30 million next year. So it's not like we're talking about two players and Rudy's going to be over $40 million in 2 years, which is ridiculous. So yeah, the problem is that I agree with you financially because when I'm looking at these numbers,
the contract's not good. It's not good.
Yeah, Gobert's going to reach 40 over 45. I understand what you're saying.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
what?
Bro, he's a first team All NBA.
No. What's the number? 45?
It is at the end of his
Nobody's trading for
contract
$45 million of no offense and defense.
They are trading if it's at
$45 million.
If you're trading 1 to 2 first round picks, you're not doing it.
Okay, if I'm the cap space,
I'll give you a perfect example. If I'm the Bulls, I have to give up everything.
Who is Charlotte paying that they can't afford that?
If I'm the Bulls,
no, they're not. But I'm just speaking hypothetically. Who are the Mavs paying outside of Luka? They're not paying anyone.
Dinwiddie, Bertans.
But these aren't guys. Okay, those are guys that can be moved.
No, but that's a lot of movement, is what we're saying.
Not really.
It is.
It is a lot of movement.
Like, what do you mean? They just gave Luka max.
No, but deservedly so. But
I mean, you say how much
you can have two max
paid like 45 million.
Put it like this.
But they're paying. They have a max in Donovan and a super max.
Vooch is getting paid 20. Lonzo's 20. That's 40. That's basically what Rudy Gobert is getting.
They have to pay Brunson too this offseason.
But Brunson's not coming back.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think the Mavs are not gonna meet other teams' offers.
Yeah, I got something for you.
Let's hear it, Lo.
What about the Warriors?
Rudy Gobert, so what? Andrew Wiggins and
get off Andrew Wiggins.
Yo, stop! You have to stop. Stop.
Why not?
Why do you want him gone so bad?
Because you can get better defensively than.
I'm not gonna lie. A Draymond Rudy down low sounds nasty.
No, it's
but
nuts.
Defensively, that sounds crazy.
No, it sounds nuts.
Nobody's gonna score, bro. 45. I don't
not
feel comfortable.
Not a soul is scoring.
I don't feel comfortable paying Rudy $45 million, bro. I just
be comfortable with that championship though.
Well, we're gonna win regardless, with or without him.
How about here's another one? What if they got off the MPJ contract, threw some draft picks at it?
You want the Joker and Gobert on the same
nasty.
Court? Why not?
That's nasty.
Nah, that sounds ridiculous.
That's nasty.
Why not? You put Jokic at the 4. Gobert
what about
at
instead
5?
of Donovan to Orlando, Rudy to Orlando?
They already have.
Why?
Centers.
Why would they do that though?
Yeah.
They have centers.
Who's the center? Wendell?
It's Wendell.
Oh my god!
Bro,
but there is a bunch of other young players. So
yeah, but defensively,
why get a 30-some-year-old?
He's 30 already.
Yeah, Gobert. Yeah, it's tough for Gobert.
He's 30.
Yo,
I thought he was like 28. Oh, this changes everything.
Hold on, let me. I'll double check. But yeah, he might be like 29.
I think it's 28.
He's 29.
Okay.
June 26th. He turns 30
he'll
this year.
He
turns 30 this year.
Yo, this changes
Yo,
everything.
he's-
Yeah, nobody. Come on,
he's
bro.
that. All right,
He's staying.
I'm
He's
sorry.
a Utah for
I'm
life. He's a Utah for life, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
he's a
I think
lifer.
Yeah, he's a lifer.
that's what I'm saying. I think Utah just has to take the L and just.
He's
trade
a lifer,
these two.
not on purpose. He's just a lifer.
But that's what I'm saying. Now that 45 mil, 30
I thought he was like
years
27. I really legit thought he was like 20 because he came in like.
What
18,
about
19.
the Lakers?
You trading AD?
You get off the Westbrook contract. Westbrook, they're getting expiring for Westbrook.
Bro, they're gonna play Mike Conley or Westbrook.
No, you just get off. No, you get off the Westbrook contract.
Okay,
like
so-
they get an expiring contract in return for D Mitch. So they get for.
Oh, so yeah, which I give him that 2027 and
That
2029.
sounds
two
ugly, but I'm not
first
opposed to
rounders.
it.
At this point,
two
I'm not
first
opposed to anything.
Listen,
Just for Utah to get off cap. Would y'all do it though? That means AD could go back to playing the 4.
which was what he would love.
Yeah, which is what he wants anay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, maybe we work.
Defensively, we get the answer we
And then
need.
you got your wing defender Trevor Ariza. You're gonna be solid.
Yeah,
Now they
do
got
me like that.
Stanley Johnson
Oh,
now.
yeah.
You have to do me like that.
They signed him to the little one.
We
year.
got LeBron.
Realistically, the answer probably is Portland.
I feel like Charlotte's the answer. Really, they're the only team that you look at. They have money. They
Portland
have
has the
a
cap space to get
Rudy
a
Gobert sounds like a
Port-
Chauncey Billups guy, anyways.
Okay.
Portland has a cap space. Portland has a draft capital after trading all the pieces.
True.
They still have Anthony Simons. They can then sign and trade Nurkic,
And you think they keep Dame?
and you keep Dame. If you really want to keep Dame,
I like
you have
that.
now Dame and
And Dame is a good passer.
I like that.
and a $40,000 rim protector.
40 million.
40 million.
45 million. 45 million.
45 million rim protector.
30 years old.
Yo, that's insane. Why did they do that? Nah,
You
no
had
way
to.
he got
They had
super.
to.
You had
Yeah,
to.
They had to.
Supermax
They had to.
deals were supposed to help small market
market.
He
teams,
made the
but
All-NBA
it just
team?
made it worse.
He made the All-NBA team. That's why.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlotte is smart. They never paid Kemba the supermax.
Facts.
Smart,
Yes.
smart guys.
Yeah, they would have been crippled after that. if they did that.
Because Kemba was cooked.
Is Beal about to get the supermax?
Probably.
Ugh.
What about Rudy to Washington?
They already have KP.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
No, not Cape. Jesus.
I forgot about KP. Switch off.
But I'll tell you what, that would be interesting. You swap them. He goes, interesting.
At this
At
point,
least you get someone that can stretch, but defensively,
I'ma
the
just
team's
be
still
honest, you
horrible.
You get worse. You're getting
Yeah,
worse.
you are
defensively.
getting worse. No,
just-
without it, I'm saying you're getting worse defensively, but you
Well,
at least get someone that
at
can
this
stretch.
point, we're just saying anything. He's a lifer.
Correct. We are saying anything. He's right.
He's a lifer.
You're wholeheartedly right.
So
Rudy's
I mean,
greatest.
I
center
want
in
to
Utah
get
history.
your takes on this with when it comes to the Jazz, because I know a lot of people have this kind of mindset when it comes to the Jazz that it's either Mitchell's fault or Rudy's fault. Like, people have taken sides now and they're sticking by their sides. What do you feel about it? Because I'm in the middle. I kind of feel like it's both of their fault.
I know whose fault it is. It's management. It's the GM for not getting wing defenders to actually benefit Rudy Gobert. You understand the skill set that you have in Rudy Gobert. He is an unbelievable interior defender. You have put him around a horrible supporting cast of wing defenders and then now leaving him on an island to look like he is the one for all the blame to be put on. It's irresponsible of them for him to be put in this position.
I agree. I think it's a little bit both. Because at the end of the day, I think we're not. I mean, fair enough to the GMing because no POAs, no wing defenders, like nothing at all. It's kind of tough, but I think it's a little bit of both because even with Rudy Gobert not like having any help defensively, bro, there's times where I look at Rudy Gobert and I'm like, bro, you can't post up a lick. Even when they throw you the
offense
ball,
is
you
bad.
you kind of miss it. It's kind of tough. So it's on both ends. The problem with D Mitch though is that when D Mitch is having a bad offensive game though, at that point there's nothing he's bringing to the table because he's not a playmaker, at least to the level that he needs to be, and he's certainly not a defender. Matter of fact, he could be a negative one for a lot of times. So it's like
he's negative,
there's
bro.
nothing that you're bringing if you're having a bad offensive game. At bare minimum, Gobert is going to constantly give you a solid defense, but why they keep losing though, like the way they losing, it's because of the perimeter defenders. Like that's the reason.
They're getting cooked bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. And you know, I tweeted that the other day about how it's both of their faults because it's kind of yin and yang thing where like Mitchell offense, no defense, Gobert defense, no offense. And somebody quoted it was like, why does Gobert get so disrespected offensively? His rim running is elite and his lob ability catching. And I'm like, bro, I saw him miss point blank layups and he can't post up. Like that's the problem with Gobert is that defensively, yes, he's elite. He's all world rim protector. But when it comes to offensive game, he doesn't bring anything to the table. And he's not a force or a menace at all, even at 7'1", 7'2".
Sorry, Riv.
What?
You're Jazz.
Yeah, I know.
They're beans.
Yeah.
They are
You're a
toast.
Jazz fan?
No, hell no.
He's just a
I'm
huge
Donovan
support.
guy.
He's just and that is looking rough
Why?
as well.
You said why? I was a fan of him in Louisville his freshman year,
okay.
so I just kind of loved the ride, and he was great his rookie year. So I just
Pause.
pause. You know what I'm saying? But
You got him with your own. You got him with your own shit. You got him with your own shit. I'm glad.
That was crazy.
That's pause of the week.
yeah, my fault. But I just I kind of stick with guys from college, so that's my guy.
Okay,
I respect
that's
it.
good. Respectable, man.
Yeah, I got a few of those. You know what I'm saying? I was Donovan, John Morant. You know what I'm saying? Been a big fan. Those my dogs. You didn't even know that I was a fan of John Morant his freshman year.
I think a lot of people may be knowing that you're a fan of John Moran right now, but I guess.
No, I really am real life. I'm
Okay.
dead serious. I'm dead serious. I'm serious.
Yeah, John looking cook right now. No cap.
No, stop it. What's the score right now?
They're getting beat by like 21 points.
Yeah, they're getting
22
beat
points.
kind of handily.
I can't wait to watch this game back. Oh my gosh.
Ja's played 12 minutes and only attempted 3 shots, 1 for 3.
That's because Edwards is the better player than
Is he
Ja.
hurt? Are you watching the game?
I'm watching it. He's having a hard time getting like past people.
Damn.
Yeah.
What the hell? What's wrong with him?
Damn.
No, they're playing good defense though.
He know D Rose. I'll tell you that.
Damn,
D
bro,
Rose
you're
would have
watching
30.
the game while the pod. The work ethic is unmatched, bro.
I gotta do it, man. I can't. Also, Dylan Brooks is 0 for 5. I think
He's stinky. He's stinky.
I talked about that and how I think Dylan Brooks might have messed up the continuity they had a little bit just
Think so?
because he demands a high volume of shots.
I don't even think he
Yeah.
did, man. He just takes them.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah, he just be
he
bugging.
is offensively he is a job.
0 for 6.
He be bugging. He just get it. Just go.
But there you go. 0 for
We've
6. Boy.
we've
No, he literally
sprinkled-
just missed. You were all right? 0 for 5. He just missed right now. 0 for 6.
Oh, that's tough.
Throughout the show, we've had conversations about the Celtics and Nets sprinkled throughout the show. But now we're going to have a full segment dedicated to them because Ben Simmons designed Game 4 as a potential game to return. And even with that, the Nets have to win Game 3 for his return to mean anything, if it is going to mean anything in the long run. Now, how big of an impact do you think Ben Simmons could have on this series? And do you think the Nets are going to come back from this 0-2 deficit? Drew, I'll go with you because you're the huge Boston guy here.
And Ben guy.
And this is pretty unfortunate for me because I want Ben to succeed. I want him to do well. But I'll tell you what, it's not going to solve much for them because their problem right now is that they need offense. Defensively, they've been doing a decent job on Jason Tatum. He had a good game 1, but struggled game 2. They just need offense, consistent offense, and I don't know if Ben Simmons is going to provide that for you, especially at this point in time where he's making his season debut in Game 4 of the first round of the playoffs. It's a lot to expect from him. Yes, you can expect him to come in and play great defense because that's something you can do immediately coming back into the game is give effort. Offensively, that's where I struggle to understand if he's going to fit in and really leave his impact because right now they need scoring, and if Ben Simmons is not going to provide that for him, then what really can you look from Ben Simmons coming back and what is your true expectations of the offense right now? Because what lineup are you going to run? You're going to run a Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, most likely Bruce Brown because he's been their third best player for them, or you could say their third most important player. I guess you have to run either a Claxton or
Seth?
There you go, and Steph Curry.
You telling me so Nash? He's an idiot already.
Bro, his adjustment making is arguably the worst
he's not a good coach
in the playoffs.
But you're gonna tell me Kevin Durant has already seen 3 to 4 defenders. He already can't go left. He's not hitting shots. And now to top it off, you're gonna throw Ben Simmons on the court with Bruce Brown. Okay.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Celtics
And
in 4.
I said it on Twitter too. I said on Twitter, I was like, bro, I actually don't think they'll be doing anybody any favors by rushing Ben Simmons
Celtics
out
in
there.
4. If they throw out that lineup, Celtics in 4.
Bro, it's horrible.
Because that's
It's
the
a horrible
lineup.
lineup.
And if Drummond subs in,
That's what I'm saying. You have Bruce Brown, Ben Simmons, Drummond, KD,
And
Kyrie.
Claxton.
Yeah, exactly. Or Claxton, Drummond, whichever.
It's just too many non-floor spaces.
I mean, Drew, you had this. You said you wouldn't be shocked if the Celtics win in 5. And I
Correct.
guess now with the 2-0 lead, are you making that
standing
your
on that?
prediction now?
Oh, sure.
Celtics in 5?
Stand on it.
I'm definitely more confident in the Celtics in 5 for sure, especially the struggles that I've seen from Kevin Durant. But anything can happen in Brooklyn. I'd say that my prediction of it going 5 is a lot better than what I was given credit for initially. But you can't expect Brooklyn to not win 1. If they got swept, I would be stunned. But I do firmly believe this series can end in 5. The way that Boston's been playing defensively.
Say it, man.
You know what? Thank you. I appreciate that. Celtics in 5 for sure.
Talk.
The way that I've seen the Nets struggle offensively, Kyrie Irving had an unbelievable game 1. It looked like he put the dagger in the Celtics' hearts, hitting that 3 over Marcus Smart, and somehow, some way, Celtics still came out with the W. Game 2, they're up 15 points. I think did it get up to 18 points? Regardless of that, 15-point lead from the Nets. Comes into the second half, they get it to down 10, and the third and fourth quarter, completely different story. Celtics were dominant. Why or what have I seen that hasn't been able to lead me to believe that the Celtics can win in 5?
I picked Nets in 6. It's not looking too good, but like you said, anything can happen in Brooklyn. Kyrie's on. He going through Ramadan right now, man.
I need that's. I'm glad you bring it up because nothing but respect for Kyrie Irving for doing something like that.
I was saying that because KD let him down, man. Like
well said. Well said.
Game 1, Kyrie come out. He goes crazy. I'm not a Kyrie fan, but I was in. Like he was going crazy, doing his thing, putting the team on his back. KD struggling. He's struggling to make the same mid-range elbow shot he always makes. Game 2. Both of them were struggling a lot. Now they got to go into Brooklyn. It's going to be tough because this team, like you said, this team is a high-powered offensive team, but a lot of this season they haven't really been able to play together because this team has been injured a lot. So it's not looking too good. And right now, Steve Nash isn't the type of coach that can break a scheme that Udoka has out there right now. And it's really just him going out there, putting up a lineup, and then they just have to figure it out. He's kind of watching like all of us, to be honest, and making subs from here to there. So it's really up to KD and Kyrie to figure it out. But all that's to say, I don't care because Kevin Durant and Kyrie have won championships. They're supposed to be at that type of level that they should be able to figure out. Seth Curry hasn't been great, but at the same time, I saw in game 1, at the end of the game, I saw Claxton be huge for them on the offense.
He was.
I saw Kyrie be amazing.
Dragic.
Bruce Brown make some plays. Goran Dragic make some plays. So this team still has a lot of hope, and you can pick where they've been good at, but they haven't been consistently good in 2 games. They blew it in game 2. Now they got to go to Brooklyn. It's going to be a packed crowd. Hopefully that arena is going to be packed. They can still win. We've seen
they blew it in game 1 too. Let's be honest.
Yeah, they have a lot of they have blown both of these games because they could have easily been up 2-0.
They could be up 2-0.
So going into Brooklyn, a lot of things have to change. Defensively, they have to be better. Offensively, they have to be more precise, and they can't fold any type of leads. But we've seen it before. You can go up 2-0 and lose the lead very quickly, so anything's possible, and they're both veterans. So I expect KD and Kyrie to get it done. I still have Nets in 6.
I respect you standing on your word, but bro, I don't know
stander,
how.
'cause they
You
can win
are,
4
you
straight.
are,
I'm a
and
stander,
listen,
boy.
so am I.
So you're saying
But-
Nets are winning 4 straight?
Yes, the Nets will win 4 straight. And if I'm wrong,
I like that. I like
take the
that.
L in peace. They're
I
not my
got
team.
Celtics in 7 though. I got Celtics in 7. The biggest reason why I'm saying that, and I had this before these last 2 games. The thing that makes it a little bit concerning with me with the Celtics, with the Nets, is that they're playing in a way that I think a lot of people thought was going to work, and they don't have a counter to it. Like the problem with that is that they don't have the reps to actually have a proper counter to the style of basketball. Kevin Durant looks like, even beyond like the jokes about him not having the left, like he's going to have to make the right decisions to pass the ball. There's way too many times where they're doubling him, they're shrinking the floor, you're digging at him at his left hand, and he's not gathering and making the proper reads and finding the open man and making them punish for it. The Celtics are doing that. Shout out to Marcus Smart. He's actually hitting his shots and they're making the decisions properly, something that Tatum has been heavily criticized in the beginning part of the season. And the Nets are just not doing it. And if they're not going to do that, then there's literally no way that they can win this series, like at all. Like they're going to have to trust their teammates and make the big shots. That's the reason why if you have Ben Simmons on there, somebody else who doesn't have any reps with them, who's going to go out there and not be a floor spacer, he's definitely going to add some defense to them, but not so much as going to change anything. And what's even crazy is that Tatum and Tatum and Brown have had spotty stretches throughout this series, and they're still winning the game just because they're able to really match up with them really well defensively. So if you're able to siphon Kevin Durant's production to the tune that the Boston Celtics have been able to, there's literally no answer for the Nets because that's been their whole identity is that KD and Kyrie are so offensively gifted that they're going to win the series. But if one of them it doesn't show up, there's literally no other answer they have that can win a series right now. None.
The Celtics are up 2-0 right now. Both games, Nets should have won. It's simple as that. I think game one, that Tatum buzzer beater, that was just something like, wow, everything just went right. Ime not calling a timeout was a great move in hindsight.
KD not playing defense.
Yep. But Nets
standing there on the game-winning possession from Tatum.
Nets should have won game one. Game two, you're up by 10 points at the half at least. Kevin Durant goes 0 for 10 in the second half, the worst shooting half of his entire career. As much as, you have joked around about Kevin Durant this entire podcast, I don't think Kevin Durant is going out like this.
I heard that game.
I think Kevin Durant is going to split this series. The Celtics did what they had to do, protect home court. I think Brooklyn will protect home court as well, although they didn't do it in Game 7 when I attended last season, which I'm very upset about. I think they'll protect home court. I don't expect Kevin Durant to keep struggling like this. Kyrie didn't have a good game in Game 2. And although Tatum and Jaylen Brown haven't had spectacular performances, at least offensively and shooting-wise, everybody else has stepped up. Marcus Smart, Grant Williams was perfect last game.
Crazy, man.
Al Horford was really good. Like, all of their role players have stepped up. Payne Pritchard last game was really huge. I don't know how much I trust Tatum and Brown to do what they do. I don't know how much I trust Grant Williams being perfect and having 17 points again.
He's been solid all year. 17 points, I agree, but
he
has
been, but I just like perfect. I just
Al Horford has been amazing.
I understand that, but I just feel like I don't know. I don't fully trust that. But I want to make this take because even though I'm picking the Nets in 7, right now it doesn't look too good for Kevin Durant, and that made me think about an idea that I had, and. Everybody's coming out and they're throwing jokes at Kevin Durant. They're slandering him. But has nobody ever stopped and think about maybe this is who Kevin Durant has been all along? OKC early in his career, he was second to LeBron James.
Here we go.
Then his last year in OKC,
I'm not even hearing
he was second to Steph Curry. They came back 3-1 and beat him. Kevin Durant joined Steph Curry and he becomes, quote unquote, the first guy and wins Finals MVP, mostly due to Steph's gravity. He gets credited for that. The only year Kevin Durant, you can say, was the quote unquote best player in the world was after the 2017 Finals when he hit those back-to-back daggers on LeBron James. And people wanted to make a big deal out of it, but I mean, the Warriors were just a far better team.
And he wasn't even officially the best player in the world. They won that championship, and ESPN still dropped their list as LeBron James the best player in the world.
And then Kevin Durant goes to Brooklyn. He leaves the Warriors. He doesn't play the first year. The second year, you lose to Milwaukee. Now, Giannis outplays you, beat you at home, Game 7. I understand the stats may favor Kevin Durant, but all around, Giannis had the better game. Now, this year, you're getting outplayed by Tatum. This is the 4th time in Kevin Durant's career where he's finishing second to another great player. First it was LeBron, then it was Steph, then it was Giannis, now it's Tatum. Is this just who Kevin Durant has always been? He's always been the second one. He's never been the best.
You missing some moments. Don't forget Dirk. Don't forget Kobe. I mean, the list gets more than 4. This man has been outplayed a lot. The Kevin Durant camp is not looking too good right now, and I think you can somewhat make the argument that you have great points, and he has shriveled up in moments, but it's still time to, put those to bed. Like you said, he has to go home. They have to protect home.
I was about to say, listen, you just sat here and told me that you don't think Kevin Durant's going out sorry. You think that Kevin Durant's going to pick it up. If Kevin Durant picks it up and they still lose,
I mean, you're right, but like in years past, I mean, last year he averaged 30 and lost. Like that's respectable. Like right now, he's just
he's been
horrible.
He's been absolutely
like going
terrible.
out like this is sad. I think even if they lose, as long as Kevin Durant has like 40-point games,
Peyton
I'm like, okay,
Pritchard by himself outscored KD and Kyrie in the 4th quarter. Combined. Peyton Pritchard.
That shit wouldn't happen to Steph.
It should never happen.
But like for as great as we know Kevin Durant is, I don't think there's ever been a year where we looked at him as the consensus best player in the NBA.
Listen, you're looking
No,
never.
no.
Not consensus. I mean, how many guys in this era have been the consensus best player?
LeBron.
Yeah, like
outside
2 or
of-
3.
Yeah,
Like
outside
2 or
of
3.
outside of LeBron.
And I feel like
LeBron,
Giannis
Curry?
after.
That's pretty much
Now,
it.
question. I would say, do you think Curry ever was definitively the best?
2016, he was definitively the best player.
LeBron beat him.
But 2015 going to 2016,
Remember,
I
he
feel
won
like
back-to-back
he was
MVPs.
definitely-
I'm not saying you're
walking
wrong.
up to the finals, he was the consensus best player in the league.
I don't know.
We
Walking
had-
up
we
to
had-
the finals.
That's what
So,
I'm saying. The second final.
LeBron, we know,
until
has
he
been
lost it. Okay.
LeBron, we know, has been the best player in the league for like
So it wasn't
a decade.
consensus.
It was because 2015 he won the MVP. 2016 he just won another. He was the consensus best player in the league.
These are the
Even if
players.
you don't want to say that though, it's LeBron and Giannis. I mean, it's
Correct.
LeBron
I'll
and
give you Giannis, and even you could debate Kawhi for one season
How does Giannis
Yeah.
and Kawhi get it but not Curry?
because
That's messed up.
it is. But it's different because LeBron was in his prime when he was doing what he was doing when Curry was winning championships.
That's
So it wasn't consensus.
I said Curry though.
But that's the thing. I disagree with that because again, 2015,
You shouldn't.
they
he
still
won
I do.
unanimous. You
No,
can't disagree
No,
with that.
and listen, credit to him. What he
can't.
did was absolutely unbelievable.
Kawhi didn't even win an MVP.
No, true. But again, you still had people saying that Kawhi Leonard was the best player in the world.
Did you believe
there are
that?
No,
four
of
players.
course.
There are four players that, at least I think the majority of the basketball community at one point had as the best player in the world consensus, and that's LeBron, Curry, Kawhi, and then Giannis after this past
I
season.
disagree with Curry, but if I
When was Giannis the best player in the league to you?
this past season?
this year.
No, not too low. Hold on,
This
because
past
I'm getting
season.
somewhere.
What are you
Hold
talking-
on.
This season.
This season, you literally were still saying LeBron was the best
Okay,
player
we're
in the
talking
league.
about my favorite player going into the season.
Okay, so take your bias aside.
I
Curry's
said
on the list.
Giannis, but that's different. We're talking about when LeBron beat Curry
He beat him
in
once.
2016. When you're saying he was unanimously
So
the
when
best.
so when he won MVP and then he won the first ring, he wasn't considered the best.
But the first ring,
But was he considered the best?
I don't think that
and
he
then
was
when
considered
went,
the
and
best.
then he won unanimous MVP that year. He wasn't
But
considered
then
the
he
best.
lost the
But I'm
finals.
talking about walking up. He wasn't considered the best.
Going into the finals, people were talking Curry was the best.
No, after
But
after
the-
LeBron came
that's
back, we
what
won.
I'm saying.
Nobody
But
was
I'm
saying
talking about
Curry's the
before
best.
that. He just won of MVP.
So
he
it was
won a ring.
irrelevant.
And then he won
It
unanimous. He was
King,
considered
what
the
you're
best.
talking about is like really, really nice up until it doesn't
'cause you're
matter
being
because he
biased.
lost. I'm not.
You are. You're not making sense. How did you just said Kawhi, the man who didn't win an MVP and won the finals, was the best player in the league. Okay, but Steph Curry, who won the MVP,
But he didn't win the
and won the
finals.
finals.
No, he didn't.
2015, he did.
Dude,
then he won the
LeBron
finals,
lost-
and
All right, if
he
you're
wasn't
gonna
the
let me
best player.
speak,
That doesn't make sense.
Kevin Love was hurt. Kyrie goes out in game one.
Kevin
still
Durant
goes
was hurt.
6.
Kawhi won. Kevin Durant was hurt. Kawhi won.
But Curry was still playing.
But Kevin Durant was hurt. We know if Kevin Durant plays, they don't win.
But so all right. So,
So
you're not
if you're
saying
gonna- no,
that.
but if you're gonna
not-
use the same interest, you have to use it for
I'm
Kawhi.
I agree with that. I'm fine with that.
You're not
the
making
only
sense.
two consensus is Giannis and LeBron.
That's crazy. Consensus is crazy. I don't understand.
Consensus.
I don't understand how you win.
Do you understand what
unanimous MVP.
consensus means?
I don't understand how you win.
Because there was
I don't
no
understand that.
there was
I don't
no
understand that.
one at the end of the 2016 season saying that Curry was better than LeBron.
But there was no one at the end of 2015 saying anybody was better than Steph.
What are you
There was
talking
nobody. When he
about?
after he won a ring,
LeBron
nobody was
averaged
saying,
36 that series.
but nobody was saying he was better than Steph after he
Yes,
just
he
won
was.
MVP
But he
and
did-
a finals,
But
bro.
he didn't win final. He wasn't even the best player of that series for his
You
team.
said he was. He just didn't win Finals MVP.
What are you talking- I
Don't be
said it
don't be
was.
one of those
I
guys
didn't
because you said he
say it
should have
was.
deserved Finals MVP
Wait,
before.
who was the best player of that series?
I mean, Iguodala was Finals
I'm
MVP.
asking you, who was the best player
my
of that series?
Listen, yes, Curry statistically was better, but
I don't know who's better. Just not,
oh
bro,
my God, are we talking about better player? Am I?
Who was the best player?
Bro,
Bro,
who was the
Take
best player
the
in that
Finals
series?
MVP. Who was the best player?
Steph Curry.
So then
Well,
why'd
who
you
was the
bring
best
it up?
player in the finals?
I'm talking about the Warriors. I'm talking
Okay,
about
in the Warriors, I'm fine.
It was Steph, right?
Because in the best player in the series was LeBron James.
Okay, but who was the best
Because
player in the
LeBron
Warriors?
James could have won MVP losing.
No,
we
he
don't
couldn't.
do that.
He was never going to do that. Losers don't get MVPs.
He won. He was leading in every single
And he
category
lost.
for both teams.
He lost.
Congratulations, you guys beat an injured team.
Okay.
So I'm not saying that means
So
that
did
Steph
Kawhi.
Curry was consensus, but you still had Steph Curry
All right. I mean, it just
and
doesn't-
Draymond Green.
Listen, it just doesn't make sense to me.
No
Everybody-
Kevin Love,
doesn't
no
make sense to
Kyrie,
me.
still went 6.
Doesn't make sense to me.
And Clay gets hurt game 6.
Clay got hurt game 6 and game 4.
But I'm saying game 6 Clay was in full
And he didn't
effect.
play.
So I got
game
so I
four.
got a question for you. So, after 2016 Steph, or after this past season Giannis, who's the better player?
Oof.
I think it's pretty
what?
easy. I think it's pretty easy. It's Steph. Steph is better.
Okay.
All right.
You hate Curry.
Hmm?
You hate Curry.
No, I don't.
You got to.
I don't hate him.
There's no way you're thinking about it.
No, I mean, I can think about it.
You serious?
I can think about it. I mean, I have that right.
But
Wait. What's the question?
Are you taking post 2016 Curry? Or are you taking Giannis 2022? Giannis 2022, for me not to be able to think about it, given the fact that he's the defensive
we're talking
player.
about before Kevin Durant, Steph.
Yes, but we saw a.
Oh, you took 2016.
Yeah, 2015, 2016, Steph.
Oh no, that's
You go Curry, but I can think about it
I don't know. That sounds crazy.
because we're talking about Giannis, who's still 2-time MVP, Defensive
We're
Player of
talking
the
about
Year, Finals
unanimous
MVP.
though.
Steph has like a top 10 peak ever.
Yeah. Giannis doesn't have a top 10 peak.
Yeah, Steph has like a top 10 peak ever.
That season was ridiculous.
Bro, come on.
No, it was amazing.
Yeah, like
He revolutionized
pay
basketball.
respect.
There it is.
Thank you.
Mm,
Love Giannis though. He's cool.
Of course, we're talking
Great
about an
guy.
all-time
he's
great.
Cool.
Great guy.
We're talking about an all-time great.
Oh, no facts.
He's gonna finish. He could finish top 10 all time.
So can Steph.
I don't know about that.
That's a dumb thing to say.
No, it's not.
Wow.
Why do you say things like that?
Who's Steph gonna finish up over in
Well,
top 10?
who's Giannis going to finish over? What? What are you
The
about to
way
do?
that his trajectory is going right
But-
now,
but
he can't be
Steph-
the
if
greatest
Steph was-
power forward of all time.
Over Tim Duncan?
He has ways to
can't.
go.
He
Yes.
needs 4 championships.
All right. If he gets 3 championships,
What?
it's not a conversation.
We're talking about, you said put him over.
He can. Right now, the way he's 27 years old, he has the accolades that he already has. He has a Finals MVP and a 2-time
Duncan has
MVP.
3.
Yeah. Credit
Oh,
to him.
if Curry wins a ring this year, what is he?
There you go. He's top 10. He's top 10, but he has to win Finals MVP.
Okay.
I need the Finals, but
So
I need the Finals
but
MVP.
You just made it seem like it was
I
impossible.
need
Yeah,
it.
I'm about to say,
All right,
this
that's
is
fair.
silly.
You're right. I did say it was impossible. I wasn't thinking about this year, and I
And plus,
apologize.
at the same age, Duncan had more accolades than Giannis.
And he was on the
Yeah.
rings was just coming
San Antonio, I mean, they came in right away and they won.
because of Tim Duncan.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
of Tim
for
Duncan.
sure.
Became relevant because of Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
He was a 39-year-old
They
all
were-
defensive.
I mean,
You know
they
that,
did
right?
get the number 1 pick, so they weren't really great. But they tanked specifically to get Duncan.
But David Robinson choked.
Yeah,
And
no,
he
for
could
sure.
never get it done
For sure.
until Duncan
no,
got there.
definitely.
That's why.
Listen, Duncan is a top 7 ball player of all time. But Giannis,
He's top 5. He's top 5.
Ooh. Will
Tim
Chamberlain or
Duncan's top
Tim
5.
Duncan?
What the?
Will Chamberlain's not even top 10.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
We're in the same boat.
So
You sound like that dude on ESPN with Bob Cousy over Chris Paul, man. You
stop.
can't
Can we
do that.
stop? No. It's leaps and bounds different when we're talking about Will Chamberlain, who was an athletic freak, regardless of whether he's playing against plumbers and firemen.
Bob Cousy better than Chris Paul.
Please stop.
No, I'm
You're
playing.
trolling.
Come on, stop it. Stop it.
He's not.
Is Wilt in your top 10?
No,
mean,
he's not
he-
my
he in your
top
top 15?
10.
What's your top
least
10?
He's top 15.
He top 15 to me.
What's your top 10?
Bill Russell shouldn't be in your top 10.
He has
No, he
11
is.
championships.
So why is Bill Russell in your top 10?
He was winning. That's why.
But you want to talk about dominance statistically? There's no one like Wilt. So not
Yeah,
in your
he
top
was-
10
he was-
is crazy.
He was dominating and losing.
He still won championships.
So why isn't Kareem your 1? Drew?
There's
Drew?
there's other players who are dominating statistically while also winning.
He still won.
When he was won like what 2 championships?
Okay.
But in contrast to everybody else in the league,
Okay,
in the
no
top
one else
10,
won. No one
Bill
else won
Russell-
outside
No,
of
I'm
the
talking about
Celtics.
everybody else in the top 10. They have 2 or more. They also have 2 or more.
But again, we're
Right?
talking about, but no one has the statistic numbers outside of the top what?
And nobody was
Michael
facing
Jordan.
plumbers.
Okay,
What are we
but
saying
again,
right now?
he was still going against arguably the greatest top 5 in the history of the game.
What you mean?
Ooh.
We're talking about, okay, obviously now in hindsight you still have Kevin Durant, but in terms of success,
Wait, you mean
the
like
Celtics
team?
squad that won 11 championships, that every single one of them's in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah, and then he went to the Lakers and still lost to the Celtics
but he still won in his final year and was Finals MVP.
against the Knicks.
So what?
That's not. No, what I'm saying is he went to a team that had Will Chamberlain created a super team and still lost. If that's anybody in
He
today's
won
league,
in
we'll
his
explain
final
right now.
year.
No, it was not Will's final year.
That was his final game.
No, I'm talking about before when he first came to LA. He was playing with Jerry West and Elgin Baylor and still lost to Bill Russell when Bill Russell was coaching the team and playing at the same time.
But listen, credit to the Celtics squad, though. We're talking about a Celtics team that, again, that
That
top
Bill
5.
Russell was the best player
and
on
then
that team.
Bill Russell left that Celtics squad and they didn't do nothing.
the Celtics team, regardless of what you want to say, all 5 of them are in the Hall of Fame.
And Bill
So
Russell-
is Jerry West. Jerry West the logo.
But Jerry West was another one that was losing to that Celtics team year in, year out.
He was Dolo.
And they added Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, and they added Wilt Chamberlain. They still lost to Bill
Because that
Russell in
Celtics
his
team was
last
amazing.
season. It's not amazing if one player leaves and then they're trash now. What are you saying?
So do we want to say that KD left, the Warriors automatically weren't good because they didn't win a championship?
Because they were hurt. Curry was hurt. Clay was hurt. What are we saying? It's not the same.
Pushing narratives.
I'm just
Come on.
I don't know. It's tough for me to
and
say
Bill
that.
Russell-
For him, for
Will's
Wilt,
not top
no,
10.
for Wilt to say he's not top 10, that's where
He's not.
you're losing
He's
me. You're losing
Who's
me.
11th then?
Now you're gonna make me go over my list. I have LeBron. I have Michael. I have Kareem. I have Magic. I have Wilt. I have Bill. I have TD. I have Hakeem. I have Kobe, Shaq.
Where's Bird?
I'm sorry.
Bird is-
Thank you. I apologize. Bird's after TD. Then I have Kobe. Then I have. Yeah. So I'm sorry. I missed Bird and I apologize. So yes.
Did you say Magic?
You did.
Yes. Magic is 4 for me. So it's Magic, Wilt, Bill.
So no Hakeem.
No,
Hakeem
see,
was in
that's
it.
what I messed up and I forgot Bird accidentally because I'm doing this off the top of my head. So 4 Magic, 5 Wilt, 6 Bill, 7. I'll throw Bird there. 8 TD, 9 Hakeem, 10 Kobe, 11 Shaq.
Steph is
Shaq
KD
is
12 and 13.
11?
Who are you putting Shaq over?
Wilt.
Now, I get it. I mean, I understand it, but I couldn't do
I
that.
knew that was coming. That's the crazy part.
I don't know why I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah,
I wasn't ready for it. It really caught me blindsided. I should have been ready for it. I wasn't. I was not.
We're not in my top team. He 11. It's cool though. He was out there stat padding.
Steph gonna pass him.
Stat padding. Come on. Stop
Who's that
it.
guy?
Stop it.
He was stat padding. It's cool though.
Stop.
It's cool. It's cool.
Stop.
You don't know if he was or wasn't though, do you?
I was about to say you either, right? I guess.
No, neither one of us can.
That's
prove
true.
it.
That's true. I'm not going to say you're wrong there at all.
On to the last segment of the show.
Yo, this show's a lifetime, but fuck it, man.
Yeah, I mean, we're used to like 3-hour shows.
No, that's facts. Hey, and listen, Lo, we appreciate you staying on with us the whole time, man.
For sure.
All right, let's do it.
On to the last topic of the show. I'm kind of disappointed, and I tweeted this the other day on how the Miami Heat had a bad week, and fools like me basically gave up on them, and I'm embarrassed about it.
You shouldn't be.
But they're scraping Atlanta, which is to be expected because Atlanta is not a very good team. Do you believe in the Heat after these performances they've been showing? Are you now ready to change your tune, Drew? You've been low on them. I'm already changing my tune on the Heat. I'm changing my tune.
Listen, I can't.
reason-
No, it's all right. We'll get to him. But
Okay.
before we absolutely violate him, I'm gonna be not worried at all for the fact that they're playing the Hawks, and the Hawks defensively are not gonna hold a candlestick to Miami Heat, and we expected this. I said it going into the series. If they are who everyone seems to say they are, they need to come in and need to dominate. So credit to them. They've come in and they've dominated right away. They've made Trae Young look irrelevant, and I'm shocked. I still think Trae Young could get one, but he's been irrelevant, and that's really been shocking to me because Trae Young
That boy in
is
hell.
amazing, and he is in hell indeed. Now, I'm not going to overreact to a strong performance against the 8th seed. I need to see them go up against teams that I am definitely higher on, like a Milwaukee, like a Boston Celtics. Do I still think that they could go to the Eastern Conference Finals and still be frauds? Yes. Jimmy Butler put on an all-time great performance against a team that has no defense to answer him. So again, I'm not overreacting. I give credit where credit is due. They look amazing right now. You have to acknowledge that they're definitely dominating an 8th seed. But until I see it against one of the top teams that I am higher on, that I do believe are more complete, I'm not gonna overreact.
I liked Jimmy Butler has been pretty amazing. I'm glad he's being aggressive. That's what they need from him.
For sure, no doubt.
Tyler Hero's been ass. I just want
But that was the thing. If Jimmy was gonna fold, you needed Tyler Hero. But as long as Jimmy's Jimmy, then it's not too much of a worry. But Tyler Hero, you're expecting him to be way better.
who?
I'm saying,
Oh, I'm not. I'm expecting him to do what he's
Vast
been
majority.
doing. Be ass, you know.
hey, I mean, what he's been doing, 6th man of the year.
Oh no, this is playoffs. It doesn't matter what you do to me.
He was 50% coin flip, but now it's looking like
75-25.
yeah. Can't believe it.
Like
33.
Atlanta, I thought it would make it a little bit more competitive. Thought it'd be 6 games. They could still, they're going back to Atlanta. Trae Young usually plays better at home, but Miami's defense has been really suffocating for him. So I'm just hoping for, them to change their tune. DeAndre Hunter, he had a good game.
You can take a break here, bro, if you want.
Yeah. I'm good, though. Yeah, no, actually, I'm not good. Yeah.
It's all right. Get this cough out and let's go.
Yeah, I got it.
All right,
Look, Miami, they pretenders though. Let's keep it a big.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Lo. Come on.
I'm not. Yeah, they're not real. Like I'm not about to overreact to them beating up on the Hawks, the 8th seeded Hawks. That also is like a horrible defensive team. That's also missing Clint Capella. Like, what are we doing?
Facts.
Right now? Yeah, I can't. I'm not about to bite on that. I hope that Jimmy continues to play the way he playing, but it can definitely very easily be a product of the team that they're facing. They're facing a team that, as long as you have a point of attack defender on Trae Young, their offense will fall apart. And also on the other side of the floor defensively, they don't really have the pieces that are necessary to kind of keep up. I don't think that Jimmy Butler's going to go out there and put together these offensive masterclasses either. Like that's just not who Jimmy Butler is as a player. And so while Tyler Hero struggles, while Kyle Lowry continues to struggle offensively, while Bam, I don't know why nobody's talking about this, but Bam offensively has also looked kind of spotty as well. They're getting by on defense, transition play, and production from other players here and there. Bro, if you facing the Sixers, or you facing the Bucks, or you're facing Boston, or you're facing like any other competent team, it looks completely different than what we're talking about right now. Completely different. So no, I'm not biting on them beating up on the Hawks. I just
I don't totally disagree with you, but the reason why I'm changing my tune a little bit, I'm just changing my little tone. I'm going from a trumpet to a saxophone right now.
I thought you told you
No, but the thing about saxophones is they're even louder. So be careful with that wording.
That's what I want to say. Yes, it is the Atlanta Hawks, but all year long I've been high on the Miami Heat because their defense is real. Their defense is real. We know offensively they do have some limitations.
Some?
But I said it in my tweet. As long as they have PG Tucker out there, I'm bought in.
I can't.
And that's really the bottom line of it.
I hate that you're laughing while you're giving this. I hate it. Listen, man. All right.
This is where I'm getting to.
Get to it because I'm ready.
When I look at the Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference, there's only one team that I wouldn't bank on them beating in the playoffs. And that's Boston. I feel like Boston is Miami with significantly better offense. Now, do I think they can beat Philly? Yes. I don't like the way Harden has looked. Maxey I like a lot, and Embiid I like a lot, but I feel like they match up well with Philly. And Philly's guys I just don't trust fully. And I think Eric Spoelstra without Coach Doc Rivers. So I think they're gonna be in the Eastern Conference Finals. If they face the Bucks, I like that matchup versus the Bucks a lot with the Heat. If they face the Bucks, I think the Heat can make the finals. But if they face the Celtics, I'm more weary on that matchup. And the Nets, I think Miami can beat the Nets as well. So Boston's the only team I look at in the East where I'm like, okay, like I have to pause a little bit, and I might pick Boston to beat Miami. But I think Miami can beat any team in the East just because off of matchups alone. I think they match up well with other teams.
But it's not about a matchup. It's about if Jimmy Butler is going to be a competent scoring option. Like that's the problem. That's
think
a much bigger
be.
problem.
Although his splits don't look amazing, Jimmy Butler is just one of those guys I trust.
I got my voice. I got my voice back.
Why?
I know Jimmy Butler. Last season he was abysmal.
So wait. Let me hold on. Just Joel.
This season in the clutch he's been abysmal.
No, you're my boy. You're my boy. But so you mean to tell me you've watched 3 games of Philly versus Toronto? You've watched Tobias, been okay. Maxey been really good. Harden officially no, but playmaking amazing, and Embiid been good. You don't trust them, but yet you watch Jimmy Butler play literally the worst defense in the playoffs, maybe second worst outside of Denver. You watch Jimmy get 45, and you trust him, but you don't trust them against Toronto, a better defense.
Way better.
I'm confused on that.
I just don't. I think it's just if Jimmy's guarding Harden, I have real concerns about that.
All right, that's respectable. But I just wanted to know you got
But
caught.
what about everybody else? Like the rest of the team?
Facts.
What about Embiid?
I like
what
Bam.
about
I like
Tobias?
Bam.
What about Maxey?
I mean Tobias. I don't trust. I like Bam on Embiid.
I like Hero Tobias. I like that matchup.
Tobias can have good games
and
regardless.
Pete, let's not act like PJ Tucker's not locking up all these guys outside of Embiid.
Okay.
I mean, Maxey gets his in spaces, so it's like
Maxey is fast, can beat almost anyone off the dribble.
You're right.
I like Robinson on Maxey.
But
I, love
I just
that
look.
matchup.
Maybe part of this.
Oh, that's
I
for
adore
sure.
it.
For sure. I'm with you.
Maybe part of this is hoping I'm jinxing the Heat so the 76ers can advance because I would love for nothing more
This
than
guy's
Harden to win a
annoying.
championship.
He's killing me, man.
But I'm just saying, I don't know.
Because here I am about to
So
be.
do you want Miami or Philly to go far? Can you just
Yeah,
make up
what are
your
you
mind?
saying? Yeah, pick one. Pick one.
I'm torn.
No. You're playing the fence. Nah, you playing the fence. Yo, pick one, man.
Look,
Pick
I
one.
love James Harden, so you know that I'm gonna go with my guy. But it feels like I've been picking in the last 4 years and have been wrong.
Well, I'm sorry, but you
You
put out your
always gonna be
bracket
wrong.
and you have Miami going to the
You're low on
finals.
Harden also?
Everybody should be going hard at this point.
Yeah.
I don't get what's going on.
That's the reason why I was so much higher on Toronto, because I wasn't expecting
Not I, Bucko.
a lot. Listen, man,
and I
credit
take
to
my
you.
W.
This is what it really was.
Man, you've been wrong about a lot of things. That's tough.
Who, me?
Yeah, you've been shaking his hand all podcast.
Because I respect him. I respect him.
That's crazy.
Maybe this is me just not really analyzing it well. It probably is actually.
Nothing wrong with that.
Is that I wasn't expecting Embiid to totally win this series by himself, which I probably should have expected because he's the MVP. Although Maxey and Tobias, like Maxey offensively game one, amazing. Tobias defensively game two was really good. And Harden's playmaking has been there, but he hasn't been shooting well. Embiid just being so dominant and being the MVP, I wasn't expecting him to just
They just don't have a big.
totally, win this series, I guess, off his strength, off his back alone. And that's why, like in a Miami series, maybe I am overlooking that a bit too much, where Embiid could totally dominate that series and take them over the
But
top.
you obviously trust Bam more than anybody on Toronto against Embiid. You know, he's that type of defender. That'd be a tough series, though. I won't sit here and lie. That'd be, but Philly will be rusted and Miami will be rested.
Listen,
so it'll be a tough.
I'm not sleeping. I slept on the Sixers coming into this series against Toronto. I'm not going to sleep against them going against Miami.
I mean, I don't think Trae Young can make it somewhat competitive at home.
Like I said, I picked Miami in 5. I think that Trae can get 1 because he's Trae Young and he's capable of doing stuff like that. But ultimately, they're just not on the Heat level.
Is Trae Young gonna get the Joker like slander
No.
for playing
No.
bad?
No,
No,
he's young.
no.
Wait, he's younger. He's not a 2-time MVP.
Okay, so he
No,
gets,
and nobody. The expectations are not. I mean, they're just not the same.
Copy. Just want to make
So
sure
low,
we're on the
you're
same
low on
page.
Miami. You don't like Kevin Durant. So what else is part of your basketball personality?
You have a Giannis jersey in the back.
You see, big Giannis back there. I'm a huge Giannis fan actually. So I love Giannis. Unfortunately, they might not make it out the first round because of Middleton. But he was
so
playing
you
kinda
think
mid.
Chicago can win that series?
Ah man, if DeRozan would have to kind of play like how he played last night, once like consistently, because I think people kind of forget, like even with the way that he played, they still only won by like 4 points. The Bucks are putting on a comeback in that second half, kind of rallying back. Drew Holiday is the one that really kind of continues to disappoint me. But I'm a huge Bucks guy. I think Giannis is the best player in the league by far, not even close. And I also think like the way that he's able to control both sides of the floor puts them in a very, very advantageous situation and basically any team they match up with. And that's including the Warriors.
Is Drew Holiday like one of those guys that's like the most underrated, overrated player in the league?
He has his moments where
He's getting to that point.
where he
He's
bugs
getting-
out and you're like, oh my God, he's this great. And then he underperforms and you're like, well, there's Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still feel like last year's postseason run was fairly underrated for him, but yeah,
For
he is
sure.
getting to that
For
point.
sure.
I mean, you would think coming in, he had a really good year. You would think he'd be more consistent.
It's
But-
early. It's 2 games, so I'm not overthinking it too much, especially with how great he was in the regular season. And he had a great postseason last year. So listen, I'm expecting him to be
I can't say
better.
great. He had a pretty good.
Last year in the postseason, you're saying defensively,
I can't say-
he was
I can't say great.
outstanding.
Well, defensively, he's
defensively
been
he was.
great.
He
And-
was
and
outstanding.
Right now, he's been great defensively.
For-
It's just offensively, he hasn't been.
He's inconsistent. Yeah.
And I'm still confused as why they don't just keep Drew on DeMar DeRozan the whole time.
I'm confused about it either because as long as if you take DeRozan out of the equation, that whole offense will crumble apart. They put Wes Matthews on him way too often.
They put Drew on Zach, and they keep putting Wes Matthews or Middleton on DeMar, and that's literally food.
I don't get that. Put Drew on DeMar, have DeMar off ball, at least try to get the ball in his hands as much as possible. Even if Drew doesn't score as much anymore, because he's not really doing it anyway. You completely alter their entire offense. Their entire offense gets altered. But honestly, that's another reason why I'm kind of shaky of the Bucks is because Coach Bud, he's so hit or miss to me.
Agreed.
He's not like because what they're doing in Boston, they should have been able to do to the Nets last year with KD. KD was out there by himself last year.
Yep.
But without Kyrie, and for whatever reason, I don't understand why that wasn't the game plan and the scheme to go against KD last year. And what's crazy is the Bucks have the personnel to do it. I'm not Coach Bud, man. He's just
Giannis saved Coach Bud's job last year.
He did.
Drew Holiday too.
Without a doubt.
Coach Bud was most likely getting fired after the second round.
Yeah, he definitely got fired.
They just had a great performance at the right time for him.
Yeah, and now it's probably
fortunate streaks.
It's bought him at least 2-3 more seasons with
maybe for lifer.
Absolutely,
he might be there as long
not
as
a
Giannis.
lifer.
He might be there as long as Giannis there. I'm gonna tell you
if they lose in the first round this year or even in the second, and then next year they lose.
I don't think they're losing this first round still.
I'm just letting you know if we beat the Bucks, I'm going on an uproar.
Oh, you should.
Like a month.
You should.
I don't care what happens.
Because think about how many people were saying that you guys are the biggest pretenders in the playoffs. You guys
we already have the same amount of wins as the Knicks in the past.
Wow.
You're not ready for year 4 RJ Barrett.
I'm not. I don't care about year 4 RJ Barrett.
Year 4 RJ is crazy.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's gonna do it for episode 174 of the Pick Aside Podcast.
Button.
Yeah, we want to thank you, Lo, for coming on. We know that you're a really busy person with your Twitter Spaces, YouTube channel, the Peer-to-Peer Podcast. So we really want to thank you for spending almost 3 hours with us talking basketball.
Jesus, man, it's crazy. I thank y'all. Yeah, I'm about to watch the biggest pretenders of them all.
Yo, they were coming back. It was 40.
No, I'm talking about the Jazz.
Oh, facts. I was about to say
it's in Utah. We're gonna win 2 straight.
Where?
Why do you keep saying we?
Because
I'm not a fan. You're not a fan of them.
I'm a Donovan.
You're not a fan.
So when I say we, it's me and Donovan.
So when D-Mitch underperforms, what do?
I go to bed early. I really go to bed early. I go to sleep. All the slander, I just ignore it and go to sleep. But if he's lit,
I thank y'all for having me on, man. It's definitely entertaining. Y'all boys keep working and grinding. You know what I'm saying?
We appreciate it, man.
You know what I'm saying? You see how he said that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's so now you understand. You got someone that you can relate to in that sense.
We here.
Yeah, for sure.
So thank you for listening.
You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah, essentially, that's Riv's MO. It's like when he's trying to be very grateful and humble. He's like, I appreciate y'all. That's basically Riv.
He has a tough time showcasing.
He does have
his emotions.
correct.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Yes, yeah. But bro, thank you very much. We really are appreciative.
Appreciate you.
For sure.
Thank you for listening in or watching, and we'll see you next time.